That's a walk-off line. Thanks, buddy. All three of them did, which is weird. The only reason I didn't set mine up, I'm like, well, 100% of what we have. I had to do
Hey, by the way, that's the intro. Just let you know.
You know, it's probably for the best. I only got a 2-day work week because, Alonzo, I just sat here and forgot which button to push to talk into the microphone.
I thought you were having DTs or something.
No.
Yes.
I just,
okay.
I look, and I'm like, no, but that's, no, that one, right?
Well, it should be that one. I don't know why you're plugged in over there. Why aren't you plugged in there?
I plug in over here because if I go here, the headset mic goes over the keyboard, and then it pushes buttons on my behalf that I don't want pushed. So I plug in the headphone over here, but this is my mic. But I plugged in the headphone, changed the volume, and then went to push this mic, but then that's not my mic. That is my mic. And let's just say it's a good thing I'm only here for 2 days because I am going to break something today.
Which is the real reason it's plugged over there, because he has less chance of breaking the headphones.
I wish that was sarcasm. It's a factual statement. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. The Rob Brown Show's on your radio. This is the Fan Upstate. Happy Monday morning, Upstate South Carolina. Hello, America. Hello, world. How do you do? Hope you had a spectacular weekend. I did. Not that you asked, but it'd be rude of you not to. On the other side of the glass, metaphorically speaking, of course, but the man in charge of the broadcast, he gets all the credit for this show being as good as it is. He is the Wizard of Wave, the Professor of Perfection, the content cash cow, the alpha and the omega of the Fan Upstate, Colonel Grudge, hashtag Dad Kicks, the great one, Lonzo, is in charge of the broadcast. What's up, Zoe?
Solving problems, keeping things running. That's what I do, yo.
And nailing it, by the way. Hey, I don't mean to start off Monday on a sour note, Lonzo, but SummerSlam was surprisingly good. Like, refreshingly good. Like, out of the gate, it was good.
It was really good. I didn't like the end result. I'm not surprised by it, but that's just, I was hoping to see a dynasty go down, but not yet, I guess.
Yeah, wasn't the time.
Yeah.
Wasn't the time.
I mean, storyline wise, I was not happy with the ending, but what happened in the final match was some stuff you've never seen before.
If you ever wondered who would win the match between a 1.5-ton wrestling ring and a tractor/forklift, we now know the answer to that question.
Also, if you're not a wrestling fan, but you want to see something amazing, the mic toss from Brock Lesnar to Roman Reigns and then the wink afterwards.
The no-look catch, left-handed without looking down.
You know what that was? Roman knows he shouldn't have caught that. That was a wink like, yeah, look what I just did.
That was Mr. Perfect throwing the towel over his shoulder and it landing on the shoulder of the I guess in that match, good guy's manager's shoulder. Like, it was just that level of a moment that was so unscripted and inconsequential, but you were like, all right, damn, that was kind of cool.
There was so much luck involved with that, and still it upped Roman Reigns' character just by making that little catch and that wink.
Also, I had to point out the fact that we had a forklift lift a wrestling ring in the air, and the discussion is, dude, Roman looked cool catching a microphone. But it was cool.
I also want to point out how bad Peacock still sucks. And here's the reason why. Because as most of you know, I have a show on Saturday night, so I couldn't watch it live. So I started watching from the beginning when I got home. So around midnight, whenever that particular match ended, the broadcast ended. And when it ends, if you haven't watched it all the way, even though you can rewind back to the beginning while it's going on, you can't watch it again till the next day. So halfway during the main event, Peacock shuts off and I can't watch it until the next day.
We are
come on, Peacock.
We're gonna talk SummerSlam later on in the show, but and I, you know what? I think we can get the glass on this, right, Lonzo? I mean, this literally just came down the pipe minutes before we went on the air.
Hey, before I hit this, I just want to say, stay tuned to the entire show. We got 2 tickets to SmackDown to give away at some point during the show.
That is correct.
I just want to do that while you're paying attention, waiting for the breaking glass. That means, you're paying attention.
Breaking news, Rob forgot to do a giveaway last time we had stuff, and Lonzo is here to be the cleaner, and I appreciate that. I actually remembered that. I have it on my show prep sheet. I just hadn't said it yet. But that's why Lonzo's in charge, and I'm just here to be good looking.
There's a lot more involved now to give away tickets as far as having a bunch of stuff set up. If you wondered why I wasn't in the office, I was in here getting all that set up to make sure that I have everything ready to go to give the tickets away for you, but we just have breaking glass.
2 tickets to next Friday night's WWE SmackDown.
Not now.
Not right now.
No. Right now we're going to get to the breaking
Later on
news.
in the show. Later on in the show. But now, breaking news brought to you by BetQL. Be a better, be smarter, and beat the books with BetQL. And don't forget to listen to Bet for the Cycle with Cody Decker and also Rob Brown, the greatest nationally syndicated baseball betting show on all the airwaves that airs Saturdays from 1 to 5.
Wait, I thought it was you and Macho Man Saturday.
Well, it was Macho Man Saturday.
So that wasn't really Macho Man.
No, that was Cody Decker.
Wow.
It could have fooled me, though. It did fool me.
I thought Macho was bad.
Real? It was a pretty good Macho Man.
Was not bad.
I have to tell you what happened with that because I did have to eat a punishment to conceal the fact that Cody Decker forgot that I was supposed to do that, and it's going to be worth it. I'll tell you what that is later. But for now, we've got to get to the biggest breaking news of the day so far, maybe of the week. And this texter said, quote, "So glad we have that monster Calvin Ridley out of the league and upstanding individuals like Deshaun Watson can play." Texter said, "For the love of God, tell us how long the suspension is." It's called building anticipation, texter.
Prepare to be disappointed.
Yeah, it's a slow burn to tell you that the NFL has received the judgment from former federal Judge Sue. Sue L. Robinson has ruled that Cleveland Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson will serve a 6-game suspension for violating the league's personal conduct policy following those accusations. Now, that ruling comes not but about an hour behind, although we do not know if they are connected or not, about an hour behind the settlement of one of the 2 remaining lawsuits that were out there. Deshaun Watson now faces 1 remaining active lawsuit. But Judge Sue Robinson said a 6-game suspension to open the season is the apropos punishment for Deshaun Watson. The Players Union said last night, well before this ruling, that it will, quote, stand by, end quote, Judge Robinson's ruling and urged the NFL to do the same, which to me sounds like the NFLPA knew it was going to be a suspension lesser than what the NFL ultimately wanted.
They already knew. And here's the question, and we've heard this happen before, the outcry that there will be, and there will be an outcry, and there should be an outcry for it only being 6. Will the NFL listen to that outcry?
So this is really interesting because it was reported earlier this morning by a number of sources that the National Football League, folks inside the National Football League, had already discussed that their appeal or non-appeal of the judgment would largely be based on public reaction, right? Their decision to appeal or not appeal, whatever the punishment of Judge Robinson was handed down, their decision to appeal or not to appeal would be largely based on what the public reaction to Deshaun's suspension would be. And again, I'm not telling you this because it is how I am forming my opinion. I'm telling you this just based on what I've seen in following this story since it broke about, 30 minutes ago, right before we came on the air? The reaction from the majority of social media, at least, right? I don't know, Lonzo, what percentage of Americans are involved in social media. I know the social media circle that I am involved with is about 0.0000001% of the ultimate American population. But what I can tell you is that in scanning social media, in opening up the tweets from ESPN about this and looking through the replies, the majority of NFL fans are blown away. As we got that text earlier in the morning. So glad we have Calvin Ridley out of the league, and so glad upstanding individuals like Deshaun can play. Calvin Ridley has been indefinitely suspended from the league. Indefinitely suspended for placing for placing bets during a 5-day period in late November of 2021 when he was away from the club's facility on the non-football illness list. The former first-round pick played in just 5 games before he took a mental health break. During the time that he was on a mental health break, he played a daily fantasy game and placed parlay wagers on the National Football League. The wagers, by the way, did not involve his own team. He was not betting on the Atlanta Falcons. He was just making parlay bets. At one point, remember, we read you the tweets that he was sent out after the investigation into his behavior started, when he said, I bet 1,500 total. I don't have a gambling problem. I couldn't even watch football at that point. Just going to be more healthy when I come back, end quote. And he sent all of those tweets out in about a 9-minute period. Calvin Ridley suspended indefinitely for gambling on football, not his own team, just in general. And by the way, this is not me excusing or asking for an excuse for Calvin Ridley gambling on the game that he plays, even though at the time he was not playing. He was at home on a mental health break. Calvin Ridley suspended indefinitely. Deshaun Watson, 25 women filing civil lawsuits against him, all with largely the same stories. One of the 25 was dropped following a judge's ruling back in April of last year that plaintiffs needed to amend their petitions to disclose their name. In June of this year, Watson settled 20 of the 24 lawsuits he was facing. Earlier this morning, he agreed to settle 3 of the remaining 4, meaning there is just 1 active lawsuit remaining. Last month, the Texans reached settlements with 30 women who made claims or were prepared to make claims against the organization for their alleged role regarding the allegations against Deshaun Watson. We know that a couple of weeks ago, Robinson heard arguments from the league, the union, and Watson's attorney during a 3-day hearing held in Delaware, her home state. The NFL at the time had been pushing for a suspension of at least a full season. The NFLPA and Watson's attorney argued the quarterback should not have been suspended at all. The sides did discuss a potential settlement all the way up through the hearing, but they did never arrive at a deal. In the days leading up to Robinson's decision, the league and Watson's side engaged in further settlement talks, sources told ESPN's Dan Graziano, but neither side believed they were ever close to an agreement. The most Watson's side indicated it was willing to offer was a suspension in the range of 6 to 8 games. The best the league indicated it was willing to offer was a 12-game suspension and a significant fine to the tune of around $8 million. If his suspension is upheld, and we do not know whether the National Football League will appeal this decision in seeking a longer punishment or not. The one thing that immediately jumped out to me, though, was that Watson's camp was willing to settle. That is to say, their lowest negotiating offer to open of 6 to 8 games. The NFL wanted 12, and Judge Robinson gave Deshaun 6. The lower end of the low end that Deshaun Watson's camp was willing to go for was 6. She gave them 6 games, or gave him 6 games. The NFLPA has said they will not appeal that suspension. We do not know if the NFL will or not. As we mentioned, they are waiting to gauge the public reaction regarding Deshaun Watson. And so far, that reaction has been, yeah, we're pretty disappointed by only 6 games being the suspension when Calvin Ridley has effectively been suspended for next season, frankly.
So I think I'm curious to the listeners and for you and for myself, how many games would you have been okay with? I mean, in the end, it's not whether we're okay with it or not. How many would you have come in and said, okay, that sounds justified, that's okay? Was there a number in your mind all along that you thought, okay, if they do this, that's what they should do?
8.
And see, I was thinking 10. So,
both more than 6, by the way. I'm
yes.
bad at math, but I'm
Yes.
pretty sure both of those numbers are higher than 6. By the way, just so we're clear, for the sake of adding everything in here, context, Ben Roethlisberger, remember when he had 1 allegation of sexual assault in a bathroom at a club in Georgia? 1 allegation. He settled, by the way, as well. Do you remember what his suspension originally was? 6. He received Deshaun for having 25 complaints, 24 of which turned into lawsuits, 23 of which have been settled for an undisclosed amount of money, and 1 still active, got the same 6-game suspension that Ben Roethlisberger got. And frankly, I wonder why, right? If what Ben did was a serious enough violation, and by the way, 6-game suspension, Lonzo, in a 16-game season. So Deshaun Watson's suspension is, mathematically speaking, actually a smaller percentage of the season suspended than Ben Roethlisberger. Ben Roethlisberger's suspension was worse, mathematically speaking, than Deshaun Watson's, despite Deshaun Watson having 240 times more lawsuits against him than Ben Roethlisberger did. I don't know, Lonzo. I'm genuinely curious. I can't say that I'm mad about it, because I don't feel like you can get mad at something until you've gotten the opportunity to study it and genuinely learn why. But I am certainly curious as to how and why Judge Robinson arrived at the decision of just 6 games.
I wonder, so if when the appeal happens, how quickly will it go through?
Well, we got to start with if the appeal happens, right? We don't know that the NFL will appeal or not. We have not heard anything, at least as far as I am aware, as of 17 minutes ago starting the show. We do not know if the National Football League is going to appeal. We are waiting to find out. We do know that it is at least being considered. As we mentioned, multiple reports coming out this morning that the National Football League is taking many considerations into the decision of whether or not they want to appeal. One of those is public reaction. If the public hates this, and so far it seems like they do, that may spur the NFL to appeal the decision and place it a little bit more into their own hands. But then there's the other side of it, which is, remember, if the appeal is filed, who does the appeal go to? Roger Goodell. It goes back to the league, in which case the league effectively can put their own punishment into place, but that may open up a lawsuit against the National Football League by Deshaun Watson and his attorneys for some sort of, I'm assuming, discrimination. And who knows where we go from there. So what this ultimately comes down to is there's a lot of moving parts here, right? There's a lot of moving parts here, but the 6-game suspension has not been received well by the general public so far. The majority of the talking heads that I have been listening to, and again, this only broke, Zoe, about 20 minutes before we came on air? The majority of the talking heads that I heard before we came on the air have all just kind of been going, I don't really understand this, right? I don't understand 6 games. I don't get how 6 games is appropriate when you gave the same punishment to Deshaun Watson, to Ben Roethlisberger that you did Deshaun Watson. And while Roethlisberger did the same thing and something that is absolutely disgusting. You gave the same suspension to a guy who was accused of doing it 23 more times. Scratch that. 25 more times than that, but was taken to court 23 more times than that. Texter said, Rob, the suspension should be 6 games per woman. So his career, and I get it. Texter says, the judge was paid off by the NFL to give them a smaller suspension. Children look up to these NFL players. He should not be playing this game anymore. End quote.
See, I don't know about that, because if they do file an appeal and the NFL comes back with more games suspended and they actually win it, then the NFL looks better, right? If you're going to go by conspiracy things and all this kind of stuff, this is the best thing for the NFL, because someone else said 6 and the NFL says, no, that's not enough. We want more. And then they're able to win the appeal. And as you say, it goes back to Goodell. And then suddenly it's 10 to 12 games. Then the NFL looks better. Not saying that's going to happen, but they would look better if it did.
Here's the other thing, though, and you're right, but here's the other thing that comes out of this. I'll tell you what I don't think you can risk happening. I don't think you can risk happening is a full-blown conspiracy theory of, what if we use this to better our PR, right? What if we used these lawsuits? What if we used Deshaun's action to better our PR? You're writing on what a majority of people would consider the pain and suffering of the women involved in this story, to put a little more shine on your diamond. That's a bad look. You would also be I can't imagine this happening, because if the NFL was utilizing these women to increase their own shine a little bit, it would look every bit as bad as what Deshaun did public relations wise.
So should they not appeal because it might look that way?
No. I think you absolutely have to appeal this. I think you have to appeal this, because now you've created a precedent between this and the Ben Roethlisberger scenario. And if the National Football League wants to go out and wants to claim that they are, in the corner of women, that they support their female fans, etc., saying, hey, if one of our players sexually assaults you, they're going to be suspended for less than a half of a season. We got your back. Not a great look. Not a great look. I'm saying, if it was to ever be found out that you did the appeal just to get more shine on your diamond, that would be a problem. Now, part of the reason that the system is set up the way the system is set up at this point is so that there is an impartial voice in Judge Robinson, who does not work for the NFL or the PA, an impartial voice in Judge Robinson, who ultimately pulls the trigger on this, and both sides can go, it's not on us, right? We didn't do that. It's not on us. But it is on the NFL now, in that if you accept this ruling, if you don't make a push back against this ruling, then it looks like you're okay with it. It's an ugly scenario. It really is. Let's take a break. Texas says, please don't spend any more time on this story. He's not worth it. Let's talk Panthers training camp from Saturday and OMG, the women's English soccer team. Yeah, they win the Euro. We'll talk about that later in the show, both of those stories. Break down training camp on Saturday, what it looked like for me. But again, breaking news if you missed it, Deshaun Watson suspended 6 games for those sexual assault allegations. We'll talk more about that later in the show and a whole lot more. It's busy. I'm only here today and tomorrow, so you're getting 100%. I mean, you always do, because Lonzo's here. But you're getting 100% from me. Back after this on the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate.
We're
right back. Stream, don't go anywhere. Hang on. All right, we're back, kids. Good Monday morning to you all, America. It is tremendous to be with you. Thank you for hanging out. You know, even as an AI guy, can I tell you the term necrobiotics is
There's video.
it's unsettling. I know, I've watched it.
Did you watch
Yeah.
it? Yeah. It's
I mean, it's cool. It's really not like it's really interesting. So I learned a lot about spiders after I watched that video.
You know what's also interesting? Think Matrix.
The battery, being the battery.
And what was moving things around? Robot spiders.
Yeah. So what's interesting about that I learned about spiders because I deep dived Wikipedia and went down a
Didn't
rabbit
know
hole.
that they were hydraulic. That's
yeah.
wild.
They had so their body parts don't work via muscle. They literally pump fluid into their legs, and that's how they move. And so when they die and the fluid leaves the legs, that's why spiders curl up. So basically all these guys did was pump fluid into the spider legs and then release the fluid to grasp. But still, what kind of mad scientist looked at a dead spider and was like, I bet I can necromancer this?
Someone who watched The Matrix. Again, it's a cycle thing. It's just like with Star Trek and other things. Hey, that's really cool. Let's see if we can do that. And not thinking maybe you shouldn't. And they mentioned in that article how that may be the future of things. Yeah, it might be. May not be a good future for us, but, you know. I've got like spider infestations going on right now with real thick webs everywhere, and the spiders are huge. It's freaking me out every time I come out to go to the car. Or the worst part's going to get the lawnmower in the shed. And taking sticks and things with me to try to get through all the webbing, and then trying to check the lawnmower to see if there's any spiders, you know, just in there going to crawl out on me while I'm...
But think about it this way. You are most prepared to fight the upcoming spider robot wars. You have a basic army ready to go. You just got to kill them all and then create necrobiotics.
That's true.
Join the Facebook stream at facebook.com/thefanupstate or go to YouTube and search and subscribe to The Rob Brown Show. You can watch all 3 hours of the show live and go behind the scenes during breaks. Lonzo and I have incredible conversations like the ones about zombie robot spiders. A scientist / psychopath figured out that spider legs are hydraulic. That is to say, you pump fluid in, they open up. You take the fluid out, they close back up. And then used a robot to do that, to pump fluid into spider legs, and basically made, you know, those games at like the Pizza Hut, the claw games? He made that out of a dead spider. And Lonzo is not happy about it.
Yeah, and you shouldn't be either, because that's just, it's freaky in a lot of ways. Spiders and Matrix. Think about that.
The Rob Brown Show's back on your radio. Again, join the live stream at facebook.com/thefanupstate or search and subscribe to The Rob Brown Show. Come behind the scenes. You can chat with us during the breaks. Ask questions. Joe asks SummerSlam thoughts. We're going to give you those. We may, you know, Zoe, I was thinking about this, and I don't know if you are prepared or want to, but I'm only here 2 days this week. I'm here today and tomorrow. I'm out Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then next Monday, Tuesday. I'll return next Wednesday. Special edition Fight Club to break down SummerSlam? Because I won't be here Thursday. I mean, you can still do it Thursday if you want with Cole, but...
No, I can't. So sure, why not? Why not? Cole has the Mark Ryan view of wrestling, so there's that.
Yeah, he went to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I guarantee you had a great time.
Was backstage at WrestleMania and took pictures and sent them to me. Yeah.
What if I can call into the show from the Dominican? I'm going to call in as a fake name and just ask Cole wrestling questions.
You know, you don't have to do that. Listeners could do that.
That's true. On Thursday, I just need you guys to send Cole all the wrestling questions. All right. So the Deshaun thing, we're not going to spend the whole 3 hours on the Deshaun thing, but it is a big-time piece of news. The next big moving part that we wait to see file its way into place is whether or not the National Football League will decide to submit an appeal of the disciplinary ruling from Sue Robinson. The NFL has 3 days to submit their appeal, which means that if they submit it on the last day, it'll be Wednesday, where I'll be in the Dominican, which means Carter Bryant will be filling. You get Carter on Wednesday, you get Cole on Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, and then I'll be back next Wednesday. But the NFL has 3 days to submit an appeal of disciplinary officer Sue L. Robinson's ruling, and I'm intrigued. Will they do it? I have to make the assumption that they will. And I have to make the assumption that they will for 2 primary reasons. Number one, the National Football League and the National Football League Players Association / Deshaun Watson's attorneys have apparently been sitting down for settlement talks over the past couple of days, leading up to this morning's decision from Sue Robinson. Initially, Watson's camp wanted 0 game suspension. That is to say, 0 missed paychecks. 0 game suspension for the new Cleveland Browns starting quarterback. The National Football League wanted a 12 game suspension for Deshaun Watson, the new quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. Neither side was willing to move all that much, and both sides recognized they were no nearer an agreement, no nearer a settlement at the end of the settlement discussions than they were the beginning. So they decided to go separate ways, allow Judge Robinson to do her thing. She comes back with 6 games suspension, which is the low end, scratch that, was right around where Deshaun's camp wanted it. They were willing to go 6 to 8. The National Football League, remember, opened with, we want a full season, right? We want a full season, and they were willing to come down to around 12. They would not meet in the middle at 10. 10, I think, probably gets you a little more, I don't know what the word I'm looking for here is, a slightly higher approval from NFL audiences, but nowhere near what anybody really thought was appropriate for this. And I think the NFL, I'm assuming the NFL probably thought, all right, she knows that we want 12 minimum. She knows that they want 6 to 8 maximum. So the compromise here would be 10, 9, 10, 11, somewhere in that range. I doubt the NFL thought Judge Robinson was going to come back with 6, right? I doubt the NFL thought that they were going to come back with 6, which is what leads me to believe, that is reason number 2, that I believe the NFL will appeal this ruling and will effectively take matters into their own hands to make something happen. But it's a long way off. It's a long way off. So I honestly don't know what the NFL, like what the argument's going to be, especially if they are, like I said, genuinely basing the decision to appeal or not to appeal off of public reaction. If the public reaction creates an environment where the NFL decides the appeal is the right decision, then I suspect they're going to have to come up with a more eloquent argument for that to Judge Robinson to make it stick. What would be interesting would be if they appeal and it opens up a lawsuit between Deshaun Watson and the NFL, where Deshaun and his attorneys go, wait. You guys hired an unbiased agent in Judge Robinson to come in here and hand down this ruling. An unbiased agent handed down the ruling, and now you are trying to make it worse. We're not cool with that. I don't know.
I don't get how they can sue. I just don't see how that would stick.
Basically, they would make the argument, and I am not an attorney, nor did I stay in a Holiday Inn Express last night. But my assumption would be, and for the record, I understand for somebody, me, who tells you all the time, don't make assumptions. I am working under a lot of assumptions here, but you kind of have to, right? Because the information, the background information is not being made available to us, so all we have is assumption at this point. Assumption and speculation. Some of it, I will acknowledge, baseless, right? My assumption here would be that Deshaun Watson's camp would sue them under the guise of some sort of discrimination, some sort of inappropriate disciplinary protocol, right? Basically, you guys are threatening my well-being, my career, my living, my paycheck. I have not been charged with any criminal activity. I have not lost a single civil suit, right? Because he hasn't. He hasn't. There's only one remaining. He has settled all but one at this point.
How much money has he paid out, I wonder?
Probably less than the Browns are paying him guaranteed money over the next 4 years.
Well, from what I read, he's going to lose $333,000 for 6-game suspension.
Yeah, because they only signed him to $1 million base pay this year. This is why they did that, right? Like the Browns basically set up a you scratch our back, we'll scratch yours scenario with Deshaun. We'll pay you $1 million base, which works out to like $300,000 per game. We'll pay $1 million base in year one, and we'll move the other, what was it, $264 million guaranteed to the back end of your contract, so that unless you get kicked out of the league entirely, 98% of your money is going to come towards the end of your contract when you won't be suspended anymore. That was what set Roger Goodell in the NFL in the first place, was the Cleveland Browns manipulated their way around Deshaun Watson getting punished financially, which is the other reason that the National Football League, Lonzo, wanted to fine Deshaun Watson $8 million on top of a 12-plus game suspension. Was, all right, you guys manipulated the contract to avoid losing money in the 1 year you would be suspended, so we're going to stick an $8 million fine on top of it, which would have meant ultimately Deshaun was out $9 million, which is a far more appropriate number of millions of dollars earned by a starting National Football League quarterback. And Deshaun is going to come back in a lawsuit with, you have threatened my well-being despite the fact that I've never been charged criminally. I've certainly never been convicted criminally. I've never lost a civil lawsuit based on these things. You are taking millions of dollars away from me based on an arbitrary decision that you and only you have the power to A, make, and B, enforce.
So from a football standpoint, because you got to talk about from the football standpoint, the Browns go 0-6. Do they make the playoffs?
No.
So was it worth it from that standpoint? Or since they're doing what you said and not paying them that much the first season, so they're counting on this being a lost season, right?
I would think so, right? I mean, divisionally, you've got a Ravens team that should be pretty good. You got a Bengals team that's coming off a playoff appearance. And the Steelers are a question mark as we figure out who the next quarterback's going to be there. But even with Deshaun, I think the Browns are probably a year away from being ready to compete with Joey B and the Bengals and Lamar. Listen, Lamar had a down year. Nobody's arguing he didn't. But the Browns are probably a year out. They get another year to build some pieces around Deshaun, to let Deshaun and Kevin Stefanski and the coaching staff get familiar with each other. It's not the end of the world for Cleveland. And again,
but
that's why they paid him
it could be, though. If you have a disastrous season, you're going to lose some guys. You're going to lose some pieces that you had there that you were winning with. Some of those guys are going to be like, man, I won out.
It's absolutely a possibility. Absolutely a possibility. We're going to talk more about this as we move forward. If you have thoughts, I want to hear them. Give us a buzz. 844-FAN-PHONE. 844-FANFONE. 844-FAN-PHONE. You can also text us your thoughts on the Preferred Home Services text line at 71307. 71307. Start your text with FAN, F-A-N. We will read them on the air. Let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll wrap up hour number one. I got a lot more to talk about as this show rolls on, including breaking down the first week of Panther Camp, what we look forward in the second. Jake Paul's boxing match against an actual boxer has been canceled.
Not his fault.
Okay. And Phil Mickelson said some things this weekend about the LIV Tour. The problem with the PGA is they reacted to him like a jerk, except for he's right. I'll tell you what I mean when we come back on the Rob Brown Show and the Fan Upstate.
By the way, Cole will be here Wednesday. He won't be here Thursday.
Cole, Carter, Cole.
Yeah.
Got
So
it.
Carter's only one day, but it's on Thursday, actually.
Yep.
And don't send the wrestling questions to Carter because he knows even less than Cole does. Cole at least has been to a wrestling match, the biggest one of the year.
Right.
And we might, with Cole, be on StreamYard. We might.
Okay.
It's going to be up to him because last time we had an audio problem with the other thing. And so we use StreamYard audio. If we're using StreamYard audio, we might as well just go ahead and use StreamYard.
Yeah.
Depends on what his apartment looks like.
I can send him some of my customized jerseys to hang in the background.
You just try to call me? Okay, all right. Okay. Good morning, sir. No, I'm good. You all right? All right. Talk to you later. Bye. When the boss butt dials you.
Oh, okay.
I
I was going to say, was that Hendrix?
Yeah, I'm not gonna unless I think there's an emergency going on at home or something. I'm not just gonna pick up the phone and call someone in the middle. Yeah. The station had a problem yesterday, so I was talking to him about it on the phone. So it was probably the last person he talked to. So when he picked it up, he probably was still on me, and he hit it. Yeah, Joseph, I had no idea who that was with Kid Rock. At first, I thought it was what's her name, which it could have been. I'm glad I don't remember her name. Who had the daughter in beauty pageants? She was a large woman. Then supposedly she lost weight, and then I don't know. Again, I'm glad I don't remember the name. Honey Boo Boo. Thank you, Keegan. I'm not striking this one up to age. I'm striking this one up to, thank God I can't remember what that is.
So, we just found on the side of our house, where the rose bushes are, there's a bunch of like black, almost like dust down the wall. And we're trying to figure out, is this coming from the air conditioning? Like, what is this? And I'm like scooping it off the house and like trying to figure it out. Mildew? Is it mold? What is it? Courtney just found out it's bug poop. It's aphid poop from the aphids that live in the rose bushes and jump onto the wall to defecate. So
all right, so
literally scooping bug poop off the side.
Everyone watching, he just made it look like he tasted it.
No, I smelled it.
Oh, okay. Your mouth was open when you put your face. It's like,
well, because like if it's like mold or whatever, it would have a distinct smell to it. I could be like, oh, that's mold. Didn't smell like anything. Anyway, yeah, I'm just dragging my finger through bug poop and smelling it.
that's all right. Yeah, there's a certain amount of bug poop in food and things like that. So it's not like you have tasted it before.
Thanks, Lonzo. Feel better about my life now.
You're welcome. I feel better about mine now.
At least I'm not the one eating bug poop. I have eaten a chocolate-covered cricket before.
I've had chocolate-covered ants before.
Yeah, surprisingly not bad.
Tastes like chocolate.
Yeah, yeah.
There was a French market in Ohio, and we went there for French class. They also had, at that chocolate place, a bunch of genitalia-shaped chocolate, which was just... Which was just wrong. It just, and they took us there. It was high school, but still,
They knew what they were doing.
Some people ask questions about it to the teacher. 30 years ago, but I remember it.
All right, wrapping up hour number 1 here on the Rob Brown Show in the Fan Upstate. Rob Brown, the great one Lonzo at the board with you today. 844-FAN phone, 844-FAN-FONE. Text the Preferred Home Services text-in line at 71307. 71307. Start your text with FAN, F-A-N, FAN, F-A-N, and we will read them live on the air. Obviously, the big discussion going on right now is revolving around Deshaun Watson. Deshaun was suspended earlier this morning for 6 games by Judge Sue L. Robinson. She was the impartial disciplinary officer that the NFL and the NFLPA had agreed upon using in situations exactly like this one. So she hands down the suspension of 6 games, and right now, everything is effectively staying put. The National Football League has 3 days in which to file an appeal, should they elect to do so. 3 days to file an appeal, should they elect to do that. We do not know if they will or not. Reports were going around this morning that they were considering it, and in considering it, they are trying to figure out what the public reaction is going to be. What is the public reaction? Is the public kind of ho-hum meh about this? Is the public up in arms about it? I will tell you, in scrolling the social medias this morning, people aren't particularly thrilled about it, right? People aren't particularly thrilled. It's not quite the firestorm that I thought it might be, but it is also 9:52 on a Monday. People are working. So, unless you've got a great job like me and Lonzo, where part of our job is to keep ourselves alert on social media, you're doing important things with your life. I will be interested to see what social media looks like about 7 p.m. tonight, right? Once people have had a few minutes to digest this, to get off of work, to read all the details that we are trying to bring you right now, et cetera, et cetera. I'd be excited to see what the social mediums look like at that point. And if there is a significant blowback this afternoon, maybe we appeal. Texter says, I bet they won't appeal anything. I actually disagree with that.
I'm also curious about what national sports media is doing. I mean, we see it's up there, but we don't know what they're saying. How are they handling this? Do they agree with us that it's too short? And if so, will that fuel even more of an outcry if there is one?
I'd have to think so, right? Like, I'd have to think that if the NFL, the national guys, I don't want to say by and large, but in many cases are basically just going to be a larger amplification of what the general public feels. So if they are already going off on it and they're leading the conversation, then yeah, I would suspect that the NFL is paying attention to that, knowing that whatever they're saying, to some degree, the public is going to follow. And if that is their number one criteria for deciding to file the appeal or not, we'll see. We'll see. Let's take a break. We'll come back. Hour number 2. We'll get away from this stuff for a little while. Still want your thoughts on it. Back after this, the Rob Brown Show rolls on. This is the Fan Upstate.
So if you want it, because it was suggested to me by management that I go back to doing something I hadn't done in a while, and that's replay wrestling interviews on Upstate Pulse. I'd gotten away from that because I'm the only wrestling guy on there right now. But so I pulled the part that had messed up and edited the entire Lacey Evans interview. So if you want it, I can tell you where it is.
Okay.
If you want to post it. One thing I did do is I took out identifiers as far as station, but that doesn't matter.
That's fine. I mean, we're posting it online.
Luckily, you pause enough where it was easy to do. So on your identifiers, you do, which makes it easier for me. Not quite Captain Kirk, but you know.
It's Rome-esque. I've been told that many times.
I saw that, Steven. It's unfortunate, but they are getting older, and so are we. What am I doing? I don't know. Top of the hour is not time to get lost in thought when you got stuff to do. Including math.
Yeah, Rick, I'm sure you don't.
Have you watched the end of the match yet? It's the only part that I've been able to find, but you can find the end of the match, like the last minute, if you look. If I see it, I'll send it to you.
Okay. So, to the baby shower Saturday. I'll bring this up on the air. And first off,
No, you mean baby party.
oh, I was lied to. I was lied to. It's a baby shower. I don't know. I don't know if I'll say this on here. But there's anything.
But we are,
Yeah, no. I
Okay.
said on the stream because she don't watch the stream. Although somebody will tell her. I don't know if there is anything worse than sitting down for 35 minutes to watch people open presents for their babies. I was ready to jump off the roof of the house.
Yeah, I was at a kid's birthday party at Kangaroo Jack's for a good portion of Saturday. That's interesting. A bunch of little 3 and 4 year old and 5 and 6 year old kids running around and knowing if you step backwards, you might step on somebody.
As terrifying as that thought is, because I would
Especially for
also
you.
child, yes.
Especially for you. Yeah.
I would rather be at that because at least I can like get on the ground and play with the kids and have fun, right?
Oh, they were having a
There
blast.
were like
but
2 or 3 little kids at this thing. One of them was running around with a cookie. And so I started playing the game of chasing him, pretending like I was going to take his cookie away from him.
There's an ice cream truck in the parking lot.
No way.
Yes. It's
Also, you got the show, right? I can't make out the logos on the side. They have
Miss-
Taco Tacos.
Mr. Chippies or Mrs. Chippies. It's Mrs. Chippies. Those are a lot of logos there.
I know. Please come this way. Yes, come this way. Come around. Come around. Come around!
They're coming around.
Turn right. Turn right. Turn right. Turn right. Turn right. Turn right.
Oh, he's parking.
Dude, if he is there at the end of this break, I've got cash.
I got cash too, but nah,
don't
he's
leave.
he's pulling out.
Don't leave.
He
No,
is
don't
pulling out.
Oh, no! And he doesn't have logos on this side.
He doesn't. Maybe he's just gonna pull right there. Maybe he's out there for like the orthopedic place.
Yes, please be a corporate event. Please, I've never said that sentence before. Please be a corporate event.
It could be. Oh, he's definitely
Yes.
gonna park there.
Yes. All right, 4-minute segment.
Let's text Chris.
Yes. Yes. Here's $20. Go get everything you can get. I don't mean to alarm anybody. Alarm anybody.
I was gonna say you said it right, man. You must really be excited.
Alarm anybody. But
Forget you, Keegan. It's an ice cream truck.
yeah, forget you, Keegan. You know, last week we brought up the death of the Choco Taco. The Choco Taco es no más. As Klondike said that the demand for other Klondike products has gotten so high that the Choco Taco has had to bite the dust in order to move the resources necessary into the production of other Klondike stuff. Got into a conversation about ice cream trucks. Lonzo said that ice cream trucks were a 1%er resource.
No, soft serve ones.
Anyway,
There are different kinds of ice cream trucks.
during the break, as we're about a minute from coming back on air, Lonzo says, there's an ice cream truck. To which my reaction was, where? And he said, in the parking lot. Well,
We're looking at him right there. I mean, maybe he's a listener.
I'm going to set myself up for disappointment here. If you are the driver of a Mr. Chippy's ice cream truck and are currently sitting next to a dentist office parked sideways in the parking lot, raise your hand in the air right now. No, he took off his
Oh, that was coincidence. It looked like it for
look.
just a moment. It did. It looked like
He
it.
went to raise his left hand, and I was like, no freaking way, but he was taking off his seatbelt. I got kind of excited. Anyway, no, hey, no, don't close it up. All right, anyway, we got to run to a break.
Yeah,
We'll be right back. Can we go to break now?
We could. Normally, Rob would be going out of his mind at the way that the vehicle is parked, but because it's an ice cream truck, I guess there's an exception.
Yeah. There's special permissions granted. It's kind of like politics. I hate that thing unless that thing benefits me, in which case I'm in favor of that thing. That ice cream truck could park sideways next to Lonzo's car, and I wouldn't care.
All right, so here's a question for the audience, and I don't know if this is underhanded, if this is dirty, if this is something you would do. Let's say that a ice cream truck, we're going to go with ice cream truck, is parked in front of another business, and they're going to serve that business, and all the people who work at that business are going to come out and get ice cream. Would it be wrong if you were working at another place and you just got in line like you were working at that place and got some ice cream?
I'm going to go ahead and tell you I'm willing to do the scientific experiment to find out how I feel about it.
Because, you know what? It's a radio bit. That's what we're going with.
Yeah.
It's not dishonest.
Yeah.
It's a radio bit. It's for your entertainment.
Captain America Chris Evans down the hall, if you're listening, I need you to come in here. I got a $20 bill I'm going to hand you to go down there, but I'm going to have Chris call in and go live from the side of the ice cream truck while he orders, primarily because I need to know, do they have Choco Tacos? Are you pro or anti-Choco Taco, Mr. Ice Cream Truck Man? I saw on the side, they've got the list of logos down the side. Not quite as extensive as the ice cream trucks back in my day.
Yeah, because we know. Yeah.
You know, we had our own make your own parfait truck.
You probably did.
Yeah. We had for ice cream trucks were for poor people. We had a parfait truck running down the side. You know, fresh cut granola that you served yourself off the side of our ice cream truck.
Could you get yogurt on that too, just in
Froyo,
case?
man. It was a Froyo truck.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Not just yogurt. Elite yogurt.
Which tastes better, I hear. I wouldn't know.
So the ice cream truck man is pulled up. He is parked next to the office across the parking lot from us. The problem is he just got out of the truck and went inside.
Yeah, but I already saw a guy walk out and walk around the corner to look at the truck.
We're not the only ones having this conversation right now.
No, I think this is a guy who's getting ready to get free ice cream, and he wants to know why the guy's not out there yet.
Yeah.
So I haven't contacted Chris, which he may just go, no, I'm not doing it. Which if I have to send an email to engineering to get him in here, I will do that.
With just the subject, emergency!
No, just help.
All right, so we may be taking a run down to the parking lot on our next break. I'll let you know. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to go right now because he's not in the truck. And I don't know what would be more disappointing to me if we go to break, go down there, and we can't find the guy, so we can't get him, or if we play it the other way, Lonzo, and we wait too long, and then we still go to break, and he leaves while we're going to break. We got to time this out. This is master.
But here's why you also have to do cell phone to ear. Hey man, we're live on the air. We just want, in case he goes, nah, this is only for those people. Then you kind of put him on the spot.
Right.
Hey, you know, all these people that are listening right now, our vast audience wants to hear us get ice cream.
Yeah, need the Choco Taco, buddy.
Uh-oh, he's coming back.
All right, we're coming back after this. Texter says, after a whole hour of Deshaun Watson talk and my best Hitchcock impersonation, say Watson one more time. Look at the big brain on Brad. Lonzo and I are both just staring out the window at this point.
Yeah, we're trying to see what, you know.
Well, there's like people walking around the truck now.
Yeah, well, no.
Did the driver come back?
Yeah, he went in the passenger side, which means he's going to go over to where that window is.
Yeah.
And he's going to open up that window.
So that means we're in business.
He's coming back out. So he's making some preparations now.
Yeah, this guy's setting up to sell ice cream. The vent on top is open.
There are a lot more people going across right now. So there's something going on over there. Because it's not lunchtime. It's not chicken salad chick time. It's not.
Yeah.
So there's something going on. So they're coming out to get some ice cream pretty soon.
Yeah, we might be taking a break
and
here in a minute.
And then we've got to get our crack staff on getting us some ice cream.
Me? I feel like I've got the 40 time to make it down there and back with a handful of ice cream bars. All right, let's get some things in during the break. I want to start with this. And I want Lonzo in on this conversation because Lonzo is kind of that.
Because normally I'm not in on conversations. Yeah.
Lonzo's kind of in this this intergenerational loop, right? In that Lonzo, if there's one guy in this building that is hip to the next generation, it's Lonzo, right? Phil Mickelson.
Got my finger on the pulse, you might say.
Every Saturday night from 7 to 9 on WORD, the Upstate Pulse. If you're into the nerd culture like me and Zoe, that's the show. By the way, go ahead and put this out there. 25 days from now, August 26th, not only will I be sitting in on the Upstate Pulse, but we will be streaming episode 1 of the Upstate Pulse Dungeons and Dragons campaign. Yeah, we are nerding out over that. August 26th.
Probably only make it through 1 because, everyone's going to die.
Probably. Phil Mickelson was at the Live Tour event that took place at the Trump National Bedminster course in the third 20 million pound event for the Live Tour. Phil, making his approach to hole number 1, did not face get in the hole guy. He faced a guy from the gallery who screamed, "Phil, do it for the Saudi royal family," end quote. The hecklers, despite being at the Live Tour event, heckled the crap out of Phil and other golfers for taking Saudi money to ditch the PGA Tour and move over. The 52-year-old Mickelson, after the round was over, a second round 73 took him to 6 over, and he was 43rd in the 48-man field, 16 shots behind at the time leader and eventual winner, Heinrich the Stripper Stenson. Mickelson said that it's not so much about the money for him, it's about the game. It's about the game. Mickelson said, quote, "As a game and sport, the viewership has gone up 5 years to an average age, I believe, of 64. We have to target the younger generation. That's going to happen by 2 ways. One, it's not a 12-hour day, having to watch golf all day. You've got a 4.5-hour window. Second, when a streaming partner comes about, it's going to revolutionize the way golf is viewed. You'll have no commercials, and you'll have a shot after shot after shot, and it will capture that younger generation's attention span. We'll open up a lot of opportunities to get that younger generation. For 30 years, we've tried to do this, and it's gone the other way," end quote. Here's the thing that's really interesting about it. Last week, I told you that sometimes it happens where somebody you really don't like makes a good point, and it kind of pains you to go, that person's right. When Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot said that her proposed plan to get the Bears to stay at Soldier Field is to build a giant roof over Soldier Field so that the team doesn't play outdoors anymore. To which I said, brilliant. Brilliant plan. That is exactly correct. Put a dome over it so that when you go watch a Bears game in December, it's not 12 degrees and snowing on you. And the football's not, slow and bad. Same situation here. Same situation here. I don't want to agree with Phil Mickelson. Problem is, he's right. We've had the how do you fix the viewership of Sport X conversation a million times. And the one thing that people don't like to admit is there's a couple of things that the next generation, where you replenish your viewership, is found. Number one, first and foremost, in my opinion, the next generation of entertainment consumers have proven, in my opinion, that they like personalities. Not just games, personalities. It is part of the reason that if you watch what the kids are watching, which is what? It's not TV anymore. What do they watch? Twitch, YouTube, etc. And not just not just watching Twitch and YouTube, but they watch personalities on Twitch and YouTube. We were talking last week. So was it last? It was last week, Lonzo. We were talking about a streamer who goes by the name Mr. Beast. And Mr. Beast has millions and millions of fans. What did you say last week? He crossed his 100 billion view mark?
It was in the billion, I think.
Yeah. Some exponentially ridiculous number. And Mr. Beast crossed over that many streams. Now, I am aware of Mr. Beast because my last relationship was with a woman who had a son, a young man. And he was all about Mr. Beast. And I sat down and watched him watch Mr. Beast. Because I was trying to get it, right? Trying to connect with this kid. I sat down and watched Mr. Beast. And this guy's entire shtick is he gives away lots of money. Now, where does he get all that money? Sponsors, right? The whatever ice cream company gives him 100 GER to give away for him to say 10 times through the video, by the way, this video is brought to you by Mr. Whatever Ice Cream Shop. And then he gives away 15 grand to some random person in the street. The show's not really that compelling. It is literally a guy. Hey, you know what it is? It's like Nickelodeon Guts. But this guy just gives away tens of thousands of dollars. I watched one, though, that had 100 million views. It was two guys standing 10 yards away from each other. No, sorry, 5 yards away from each other. 5 yards away from each other. And he had them toss a football back and forth. 5 yards away from almost literally where Alonzo and I are. Toss a football back and forth. Every time a pass was thrown and successfully caught, they threw $1 into a big tank. And these guys could keep going as long as they wanted to. Every time they threw and caught a pass, it was $1. If somebody dropped the ball, it was game over and they lost everything. So they had to pick when they wanted to stop. And they did this 10,000 times. And this was the whole show, right? It was just him there talking about it. It threw back and forth. After a while, he goes, I'll tell you what. If you guys will step 10 yards apart, I'll give you $5 grand or something like that. And they did it. And then to end it, he goes, all right, you're at $17,000. He goes, if you will throw a 30-yard pass from the 30-yard line into the end zone and you successfully complete it, both of you will walk away with 17 grand instead of having to split it. But if you drop it, you lose everything. And these guys did it. This is all the video was. Had 100 million plus views. The next generation likes personality. It doesn't even have to be a good personality. It's just got to be personality combined with something that sounds kind of fun. The guys at Dude Perfect have made tens of thousands of dollars. And what's their whole shtick? They do trick shots, right? All right, we're going to ride this golf cart and shoot a basketball off the back and make it. And they've gotten progressively cooler. One I saw not too long ago that had a couple 100 million views on it was they dropped basketballs off the top of the Hoover Dam into a basketball goal. That was it. That was the whole video. Was just them dropping basketballs off the top of the Hoover Dam, trying to throw the ball into a hoop. And they finally got it. Hundreds of millions of views. Personality is important. The next generation is less enamored with sport and more enamored with those who play it. Do you want to know why it is that when you listen to radio, it is progressively less about the X's and O's and more about the Jimmies and Joes, as Bear Bryant used to say? It is because you can tell me that it's incorrect. But what do we get more reaction to, Lonzo? Do we get more reaction to last week, DJ Uiagalelei went 14 of 21 for 203 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception? Or do we get more interaction from, hey, DJ, what do you want on your hot dog? Oh, I don't eat hot dogs. Which one of those generated more text?
I believe it would be the hot dogs.
Correct. Correct. People want personality. They don't just want to watch guys golf. They want to feel like they know the guys playing golf. It gives you a rooting interest, right? The second thing is, Phil's right about the concept of attention span. And it's not just about young people. Lonzo, how many video games and television shows combined right now are you invested in? 4, 10, 15, 20?
It would take some calculating.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
I would need to take off my shoes to count the number. I'm 8 episodes deep into Ted Lasso. It has caught me. I'm in love with this show now, right? I am watching Prehistoric Planet with David Attenborough on Apple TV. It's spectacular.
Is he still alive?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Not only is he still alive, but Prehistoric Planet is like, Planet Earth. Have you seen any Planet Earth episodes? Prehistoric Planet is Planet Earth except for dinosaurs. It's incredible. It's incredible.
I'm waiting for the Kyrie version.
Dinosaurs lived 6,000 years ago when the earth was flat. Nope. Kyrie. Anyway, I'm in 4 different video games right now, right? I'm in at least 3 TV shows off the top of my head. I'm into 2 different books, right? I know, books. It's like a video game, but it's in words.
I have a pretty decent library, so you're not telling me that. I'm a little shocked that I haven't heard you talk about reading books.
Yeah.
Not that you're unable, but
the books are. Remember last week I did that really long-winded Revolutionary War metaphor for Doug Peterson and Trevor Lawrence.
It's very educational. Look it up if you missed it.
I got that because I'm reading a book on the British Revolutionary Southern campaign to drive the American militia out of the South to recapture South Carolina, which at the time was the richest of the 13 colonies, with the plan being if you could subdue South Carolina and take back over the exports there and the trade there, you could restock the British Treasury, which would allow you to restock the British Army, which would allow you to drive the colonials further back up into New England and win the war. That was the whole strategy. It got beat down by General Daniel Morgan and General George Washington when they were able to pincer maneuver Cornwallis into Yorktown with the help of the French Navy, blah, blah, blah. That's the kind of books I read.
Yeah, nonfiction is the place where 1%ers go. The rest of us, read fiction where there's fantasy, where we wish our life was.
I said what I said. Anyway, so the point is the attention span of sports viewers. The attention span of sports viewers is different, right? Now, I'm not saying that you can't get away with a 3.5, 4 hour event. You sure can. But you better keep it full till start to finish, right? Movies are getting longer by the day, right? When I was a kid, Lonzo, a movie that was an hour and 40 minutes would have been considered an epic. Now it's considered pretty run-of-the-mill, right? I went to see Thor. Kind of a, not really, but kind of a throwaway Marvel movie. In the grand scheme of things, it was like an hour and 45 minutes long, right? Here's the thing. Phil is literally giving the blueprint to the PGA about how to solve its problems with the LIV Tour. He is literally telling them, here's what's wrong with how you guys have been doing it. You're not presenting us as personalities. You're presenting the game as the most important thing. It's not anymore. It's hard for some people to accept, right? It's a very similar argument with what's going on with the transfer portal and et cetera, right? My colleague in arm, Mike Ryan's still upset. If you recruit a kid and he doesn't want to be a Gator, most kids don't want to be a Gator. They want to go to the school that's going to do the best for them. These kids are kids. They're not just resources with a helmet, right? The PGA Tour is made up of people. It's made up of golfers who have lives and have stories and have events. And you don't really focus on them anymore, right? Even when Tiger was at his prime and golf was at its prime and people were talking about it, how was Tiger Woods ever presented? As a golfer. A damn good one, but as a golfer. F1, a racing series that had little to no traction in America until 3 years ago. F1 did a move I have called on this show and others brilliant many times. They ran a season-long documentary on Netflix just about the drivers and the drama that goes on behind the scenes. And now all of a sudden, I wake up on Saturdays and I pop onto social media while I sit down for breakfast, and I've got buku amigos on Twitter. What are they talking about? F1. They didn't grow up watching F1. They weren't big F1 fans. Their dads weren't sitting them down for open wheel races. Netflix captured them by showing them the drama behind go fast, turn left, turn right, go fast. They showed them the people. People got hooked. Phil Mickelson is giving the Live Tour, and frankly, every other sport, the blueprint, the recipe for success. You want to get the next generation invested? Here's how you do it. He's right. Now, he's going about it the wrong way, in my opinion. But I also understand that if somebody offered me $150 million, there's a lot of things I say I won't do that I would think about for $150, right? No, I don't want Saudi money. But if they offer me $150 to come play golf, sorry, guys. I can change a lot of the world with $150 million. Pounds, sorry. But you get it. Phil is giving you the blueprint, PGA, and every other sport. The NBA has made their game about people, and the NBA is doing great. Everybody else needs to follow. Back after this on the Rob Brown Show. This is the Fan Upstate.
You already closed up shop.
Yeah.
There wasn't that many people who work over there.
Where did he go?
He went inside. So he went inside the building. Ice cream man! Ice cream man!
This radio commercial was made to convince you to stop speeding. You can't use siren sound effects on the radio, so we'll use other equally jarring sound effects to get your attention. Like telling you that whether you drive a little over the speed limit or a lot, you can crash just the same. You could hurt yourself, or worse, others. And the damage you cause will be beyond repair. See, you didn't have to use crash or siren sounds after all. Speeding catches up with you.
Listen. Listen. How is that, like, I get I get how the yes chant caught on, but I just love that JR has pushed listen over more than Max maybe.
Yeah, but since he started doing it, they haven't been rapping lately.
Aren't they dropping a music video on Wednesday, or do they drop it Friday?
I don't know.
My man caught an axe flying back at him. I think I'd have let it go. And then he just stands there, presumably because the shock of what happened set in after the reflexes did.
Probably used to play baseball. Looks like he could have been a pitcher. Even if it's Little League, if you're a pitcher, you got to be used to just catching anything that flies back at you.
Yeah.
He could have caught it the wrong way, though. Maybe he did right now. How much force did it take for him to for it to bounce back that far?
Have you done axe throwing before? We should go to axe throwing. Mark Shelley, the seductive voice of the Swamp Rabbits' wife, runs the one at Hampton Station. So we should put together an axe throwing night. It turns out when you start, you're a little hesitant, but once you find your groove, I freaking throw that thing. Also on Tuesdays, they do, I don't know what the name of it is, but you can throw combat shovels, ninja stars, daggers, axes, spears, long axes like Viking war axes. I haven't done it yet, but it looks like it's going to be rad.
Journey concert next break.
10-4. The Rob Brown Show back on your radio. This is the Fan Upstate. Bill Russell passing away this weekend. 88 years old, was the cornerstone of the Celtics dynasty. His wife released a statement on social media yesterday that said Russell passed away peacefully with his wife Janine at its side, and arrangements for his memorial service will be announced soon. No cause of death was mentioned. He had been living up in the Seattle area. He was expected to present the NBA Finals MVP trophy back in June, but was dealing with a long illness and was unable to make it. Do not know if that illness led to the death of Bill Russell, but in the ranks of iconic players, right? Like in the ranks of iconic players, Bill Russell's got to be towards the top of that group, right? Like we talk about Bird's Celtics and we talk about Kobe's Lakers and we talk about Duncan's Spurs and all this. The Celtics were so damn good during the Bill Russell days that it's hard for a lot of people to kind of pick. If you had to say, we say, again, Kobe's Lakers, Duncan's Spurs, Jordan's Bulls. With the Celtics, you don't really get that from that old day. I mean, you got Larry Bird's Celtics for a little while. But during the 13 years that Bill Russell was in Boston, Lonzo, 13 years in Boston. The Celtics went to the NBA Finals 12 times. They won it 11 of them.
Hasn't been repeated and probably never will.
Probably never will. Anytime we mention the GOAT, like we will later when we talk about that Amanda Nunes win this weekend, and we say the GOAT, Lonzo correctly likes to add so far in, right? Like the GOAT so far. Because there was a GOAT before Amanda Nunes, and there was a GOAT before Ronda Rousey. There was a GOAT before LeBron. There was a GOAT before Kobe. There was a GOAT before Michael. And all of those guys have had another guy follow. When Mike was playing, I have no doubt that there were some guys in my position in that day going, Michael Jordan's the GOAT and he'll never be topped. And then Kobe showed up. And then there were definitely guys in my position during the Kobe era going, Kobe's the GOAT and he'll never be topped. And then LeBron showed up. And now there are guys in my role, myself included, going, LeBron's the GOAT and he'll never be topped. As if we haven't seen the last three guys do it, right? But then every now and then you get a transcendent figure. Like Tom Brady, who is the GOAT so far. Will we see another Brady? Who knows? I am comfortable in saying, and granted, this is as much because the league has changed, the association has changed, as it is the role of players has changed. But if we ever see a player go to the finals 12 out of 13 times in his career and win 11 of those, again, the league is more competitive top to bottom than it was when Bill Russell played. There are more good teams top to bottom than it was when Bill Russell played. The league is more financially wealthy than it was when Bill Russell played. But none of the teams in Bill Russell's area went to 12 and won 11 either. Only his Celtics did it.
Why do you have to put qualifiers or whatever on each era? Well, they didn't have the same stuff for his era. He was dominant. I don't think, and I'm not putting this on you, but everyone seems to do that. Well, they didn't have this. They didn't. At the time, they had what they had, and they were the best.
Sure. I think it's this era because one of the things we love to do in sports, even though I hate it and I think it's unfair to do, is to go, how would X do in the Y era, right? Could Mike play in today's era? I think a lot of us think he could. But the flip side of that is, could LeBron have played in Mike's era? Yeah, I absolutely think he could. It would have been a different form of basketball. It could. But the further apart those eras get, right? The further apart those eras get, the more different the game was. Could Bill Russell have played in today's NBA? Honestly, I doubt it. Or at least not with the level of success he had. Could LeBron have played in Bill Russell's NBA? Not only yes, but he'd have won 13 of 13. Because he's just, the game is different. But that is why, to me, I compare guys within an era to guys within that era. And Bill Russell was, without doubt, the best of that era. Bill Russell was probably the GOAT before Mike was the GOAT, right? Michael Jordan probably dethroned Bill Russell as the guy that was considered the GOAT. But then, Bill Russell also went on to be one of the most important people off the court well into his retirement, right? Bill Russell was an activist. Bill Russell was a guy who utilized the platform that he built by being the GOAT before the GOAT, the first GOAT, the OG GOAT. He utilized that platform to try to help other people's lives be better. And, we all have respect for athletes who go out onto the field, onto the court, onto the rink, whatever, and do stuff that puts us in awe of their athletic ability. But then there are guys who take that, they utilize it to do something better, to help make other people better off. And Bill Russell may be that GOAT. Maybe the GOAT of that spot. It's a loss of an American giant is what that is. The loss of an icon in Bill Russell. There's athletes pass away throughout the year. And for the vast majority of them, we go, that's sad. That's a big loss, right? Bill Russell at the top of that list of this is a loss, a net loss for America. The man will go down as one of the greatest ballers of all time, one of the greatest winners of all time, one of the greatest champions of all time, and as a guy who used that platform to do a lot of good. He didn't go like a lot of players and become a hermit, become a recluse, keep his millions of dollars in the bank and just go live in his ranch. Bill Russell stepped out, took a lot of heat for it, but he stepped out to do what he could do to make other people better off. And that's exactly the type of person we should all strive to be. R.I.P. Bill Russell. We'll see you on the other side, man. Thank you very much for everything, Bill. All right, let's run to a break. When we come back here in just a minute from right now, I want to get to this before we get to Panthers training camp. ESPN surveyed around 200 coaches, administrators, and players about the future of NCAA football. Where they thought we are, where they think we're going, how we think we're going to get there. And suffice to say, there's a lot of concern, but a lot of optimism too. We'll tell you what the results of that survey were when we come back. Rob Alonzo, you, the Rob Brown Show's on your radio. This is the Fan Upstate. Texter just asked how the pressure washing gaming saga is going. And I am ashamed to say really well. I'm getting very good at virtually pressure washing. I did a carousel last night.
Okay.
Took me about an hour, and I could not get up until it was done.
So you struggled more on a carousel than you did like a mansion?
Yeah, and here's why. The majority of the surfaces on the mansion are flat planes. The carousel, there's a lot of parts you got to get in. Like, I'm to the point now where a lot of stuff I have to do. There's like crevices, and you have to get up in there, but you have to hit it at a certain angle to get the water up in there. And you can't see those points until it's time to do them. So you're just kind of like, dang, where's the last little bit of dirt that I can't find? He's just taunting us at this point, Lonzo. He's just taunting us. The ice cream truck is still there. He's just parked, except for the ice cream truck man is now nowhere to be found. We saw him a little while ago. It looked like he was setting up shop. Then he was in the back of the truck for a minute, and then he just closed everything down and has disappeared. We don't know if he went inside the office next to him. We don't know if he went to sit down and have lunch. We don't know if he was just listening to the show and was like, watch this, I'm going to torment Rob and Lonzo. But if that was his plan, he has absolutely stuck the landing.
Or maybe the economy has gotten so bad that the ice cream man is bartering for his whatever service he's having done.
Ironic, he's next to a dentist then.
Yeah. So he had it's not a dentist, by the way. It's a therapy. They do therapy.
Oh, I thought it was a dentist office.
Yeah, they do physical therapy.
I know they're like 20 yards from here.
Yeah, I could be wrong. I've only driven past it 6 days a week for forever, but I'm pretty sure that it's physical therapy. And so maybe he needs some therapy done, couldn't afford the insurance, and decided, hey man, trade you some ice cream for some leg work or something. I don't know.
All I know is dude rolled up, looked like he was setting up. We went to break. I was about to hit the fastest 40 time since high school to get down there, grab $20 worth of ice cream to come back up to distribute to me and Lonzo. And then he shut it back down, and now he's gone MIA. So now I'm sitting here staring at the ice cream truck during segments because my thought is if he goes back down and he goes back into the back of the truck, I'm going to break. I don't care what time it is. I'm going to break because I'm going to hit the hustle to get down there and make this happen. All right. 844 fan texter says not all ice cream trucks are created equal. That might be a 420 truck. Do they send are weed trucks a thing now?
No, this is the kind of truck that I was talking about back in the neighborhood. There's some ice cream trucks had ice cream, and other ones you stayed away from those. And somehow your parents knew that. No, let that one go.
When the decorations of the truck are less vinyl and more, that dude drew that into the dirt and grime on the side of the white van. Not the type of truck you need to hang out by. Anyway, we will alert you on Operation Ice Cream Sandwich as the day moves forward. Let's get a couple of things in here before we head out for a break. ESPN surveyed 200 coaches, administrators, and players about the future of college football. Sent out a wide-ranging questionnaire where respondents were asked to answer questions about realignment, name, image, and likeness, the transfer portal, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And there was a few of them that were interesting. ESPN reports that of the respondents, nearly 80% of respondents believe schools will pay athletes directly within the next decade. At that point, I would welcome Lonzo's use of the word employees regarding college football players if that was to happen. Nearly 75% of respondents think that sport will eventually follow some sort of professional model, perhaps with schools forming conferences based on their willingness to pay players. And dig this, 98% of respondents to this survey believe that more realignment is in store sooner rather than later. There were a few more questions that got thrown out there that I found very interesting. Nearly 60% of respondents agree that college football should break away from the NCAA and form its own system of governance and oversight. Now, where to draw that line is far less clear. According to ESPN, a breakaway of just FBS football, that is to say, just football itself, only 14% of respondents inside the world of college football said that would be the direction to go. Others debated whether the departure should include all FBS schools or just those from Power 5 conferences, and that was only 16%. There were also those who think the NCAA is good for hosting championship events but not regulating any sports, 18%, and nearly 12% of respondents said there was, quote, no need for the NCAA at all, end quote. More than 60% of respondents said college football needs to name a czar or commissioner who could oversee all aspects of the sport and shepherd the disparate interest in a direction best for the sport as a whole. 60% of people within the game, Lonzo, said we need to pick a guy. We need to have one guy. We need to have one gal. We need to have one commish that basically is the final decision maker in everything. The problem you're going to bump in with that is that you have built a college football model that is based on profit. But see, now everybody has built their model based on profit. The players are building their model based on profit. The schools are basing their model based on profit. The conferences are building their model based on profit. And the NCAA built its model based on profit. And so the situation that you have created here is that at what level does the czar step in and go, yeah, we're not gonna allow that at the cost of profit to a particular player, school, conference, or structure as a whole overall, right? This was all stuff that needed to be done years ago. And it's not like that's gonna It's not like that's going to surprise anybody. The ice cream truck is leaving, you guys. He's leaving. Sir, my disappointment is immeasurable. Whatever. I don't even care anymore. Who needed it? Who needed ice cream? I'm fat. Who needed ice cream? We didn't need ice cream, Lonzo. We didn't need it.
It wasn't about the end result. It was about the destination, about seeing if we could possibly get out there and get some. We might even have thrown the ice cream in the trash. Probably not.
No,
but you never know.
We would not have. Anyway, all these moves needed to be made years ago. You know, there's a point of no return, right? There's a point of no return where you go, no, that move is too late, right? That move is too late. You could have sent reinforcements earlier in the campaign, but you failed to do so. And now you're trapped. It's too late. Half of the respondents to this survey said that it is going to require the federal government to create a uniform policy for name, image, and likeness nationally, even if Congress has been reluctant to address the issue so far. About a third of respondents said the NCAA should take the lead on determining a national policy, but nearly 70% of respondents said they believe the organization was hamstrung by fear of litigation in the aftermath of the Alston ruling, in which the Supreme Court appeared to open the door to antitrust litigation by college athletes. Again, something that trying to create protocols out of the gate would have been a better reflection, would have been a better way to handle this, right? But the point is the respondents are now saying, look, the NCAA got told by the Supreme Court not terribly long ago that if they try to limit the amount of or the way that NCAA football players are allowed to receive antitrust, or excuse me, are allowed to receive NIL, that they would be creating a situation in which athletes could turn around and sue and go, wait a minute, you guys have all the control, all the power, to the point that you are prohibiting us from making money the way we could be making money. We're going to take you to court for that, and it would be powerful enough to work. It'd be powerful enough to work. It's interesting. We'll talk more about this survey later on in the hour. We got some thoughts. Week 1 in the books for the Carolina Panthers under Baker Mayfield, and Matt Rule had some very nice things to say about Baker. I'm going to tell you what that was coming up next on the Rob Brown Show. Rob Alonzo, you. This is the Fan Upstate. Give those tickets away here.
We can do it here, or let's do it after Fight Club. Going into that, because I would like to do it during the break for the reasons that I told you.
Okay.
So I can hear.
Okay, so we'll just do like caller number blah during this break.
No, let's do it after Fight Club.
Yeah, that's what I meant. But like during that break, we'll do caller number 3.
Yeah, something like that. So I'm trying to use Google Earth to find that over there, to find out what that is, because I've never used it before, and I'm struggling because I can't. I think I know where we are, but that's a lot of dirt, and that doesn't.
Trying to find that business right there.
Yeah. Plus, I never really used Google Earth before, so I wanted to see if I could do that.
It is a dentist. It's Green Ridge Family Dental Health.
Are you sure?
I just looked up their phone number, and that's what came up to it. And it's definitely that building.
Oh, man, someone's parked next to me.
In the Google Earth? Or in real life?
That can't be right. I think this is old. Or that's just not our place. But that was us, but that's not us. Now I'm stuck in this thing trying to figure out if I can find us from.
Lonzo's playing detective over here.
There's a bunch of dirt, so that makes it look like this is old. I gotta stop. I got stuff to do. No, Keegan, and I'm probably not going to watch it. Why would I want to watch a prequel to the worst Star Wars movie ever made?
Nope, not taking the bait. No bait shall be taken.
Oh, this has nothing to do with bait. It's not a bit. It's not a work. It's the worst Star Wars movie ever made. It's worse than the holiday special.
Oh,
Because the holiday special had hope. Yeah, the Ewoks look stupid. Yeah, the Wookiees look stupid, but they were happy.
it was a story of sacrifice for a greater cause than yourself. What could be more hopeful that your cause?
It was
so
retcon, and it was horrible
your cause
retcon.
Was so
Horrible
just
retcon.
that people are willing to lay down their lives for it.
I can tell you we probably won't be covering that show in the Upstate Pulse unless it's just so I can criticize it,
Such a hater.
which I'm not above doing. I call it the Rob Brown method of viewing, hating something before I watch it and knowing I'm not going to like it, so I won't like it. And if it does have hope in the prequel, it's all a lie because they're all going to die.
Okay, we have like 6 seconds.
Yeah.
How did you connect to the internet while you were out at Wi-Fi?
Our hotspot.
Your hotspot?
Yes.
The MiFi?
Yes. Can I answer these questions in 13 minutes? Come back when the segment's over, and I got you.
That's enough.
The Rob Brown Show rolls on. The third, the final, the best. Money ever goes now. This is the Fan Upstate. Hello, Upstate South Carolina. Hello, America. Hello, world. How do you do? Great to be with you. I am Rob Brown. The great one, Lonzo, is across from me on the other side of the glass, metaphorically speaking, in charge of the broadcast. So if you like it, he gets all the credit. He's like the quarterback. He calls the shots. We are going to do a couple of things in this hour. Number one, in the very next segment of the show, we are going to do a special edition of Fight Club. Why? Because A, I want to. B, because I will be on vacation Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of this week, and Monday and Tuesday of next week. I will be down in the Dominican Republic, getting my suntan on, baby. Drinking rum on the beach, which means I have to miss Thursday, which means I have to miss Fight Club. Unfortunately, Lonzo has the challenge of going 4 days with Cole Bryson, anti-wrestling guy. So
And a fifth day with Carter Bryant, even more.
is he anti-wrestling guy too?
You know, I don't think he's anti-wrestling guy. He just doesn't like
He just
wrestling.
isn't pro wrestling guy, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, we will do our Fight Club, which is normally on Thursday, today on Monday, because not just did we have, we didn't just have SummerSlam this weekend, but we also had a
Biggest event of the summer. We got to cover it.
yeah, also had a massive MMA fight. Amanda Nunes got the win, gets her belt back. She is now Amanda 2 belts once again. So we're going to talk about that.
Has she retired yet?
Why would she? She's on top of the game. She's the best in the game right
Yeah,
now.
she's old. She needs to retire.
As this texter just said, hating ass Lonzo at it again.
No, that's a different guy. I don't hate. I love
He
everyone.
just dislikes spectacularly. That's all.
I dislike with flair.
So we'll do Fight Club coming up next. But before we get there, a couple more things I wanted to get into on the show today. Ladies and gentlemen, Lonzo declared last Thursday the opening of National Football League training camps as the beginning of football season. And I do have to tell you, Lonzo, I walked outside today.
Also confirmed by Rashad Beard.
Yeah, Rashad Beard said
later
he
on
agreed.
in that. Yes.
Yes, he did. I have to tell you, though, I walked outside, and while I do not consider training camp the start of football season, all right? Start of football season's in, 2 weeks when we get NFL preseason games underway.
No, preseason is this week.
Oh, Hall of Fame game, that's right.
We've had this. You're trying to pretend like that game's not going to happen, but I plan on watching it. And while I'm sitting there, I'm going to say, Rob says football season isn't happening. This looks like football to me.
The Hall of Fame game is the most preseason-iest preseason game of them all.
There's only 3 preseason games now, Rob.
That's true. We are down to 3.
Yeah. So
take every one you can get.
So you know what? After that, there's only 2 preseason games for those particular teams.
So the Hall of Fame game is this weekend. I will be more apt to say that August 4th is the first day of the preseason or the first day of football season.
And by the way, that's Thursday. It's not even this weekend.
Yeah, listen.
The 4th is you're already on
I'm gonna be on
vacation.
vacation.
You're already on vacation.
However,
I get it.
However, let's do. By the way,
I hate to keep correcting, but if I don't, someone else is
correct.
going
Yeah,
to.
exactly. I feel like Captain America Chris Evans down the hall just hangs on to the door handle outside, waiting for us to say something incorrect to throw the door open and drop a well actually on us.
Don't do that because he'll be mad at you for a while.
Anyway, it is Thursday, August 4th, is the Hall of Fame game. I will be in the Dominican. Last week, I asked, we did Faces and Heels last week, which we will still do tomorrow. And I asked if I was the face or the heel because the lady friend who doesn't really ever ask me to do anything, right? Our relationship basically is I say, I'm going to do this thing and I would love for you to be there, but I'm not going to be upset if you don't. And I go to the thing without her if she doesn't want to go. And vice versa. She's like, I'm going to go do this dinner thing. If you like to go, go. And if I say no, she's like, cool, see you when it's over. It's a great way to run a relationship. Very rarely do we tell each other, like, I would really like if you were at this thing, right? So she asked me to go to a baby shower this weekend. So I went. Because, again, she doesn't ask me to do a lot. She told me, it's not really a baby shower. It's more like a party. It was a baby shower, all right? It was a baby shower. Nobody wants to sit in a room and watch somebody else open gifts for a baby that doesn't exist yet, all right? Nobody wants that.
Unless it's your baby that's coming, yeah.
Right. And that's fine, but, like, there was like 6 beers for everybody that was there. That's not enough beers to justify calling it a party, all right? Anyway, Faces and Heels Volume 2.
Wait. So you're saying you can't have a party without alcohol?
Not if it's a baby shower.
I think that would be the one place where you don't have alcohol, but, you know.
No, like a 3-year-old birthday party.
Yeah, but baby showers, moms and aunts and cousins show up.
They can't have beers?
Do you want your mom and your aunt drunk at one place? No?
Having a beer does not mean I'm getting drunk. I can just have a beer. It's a baby shower. I'm not going to be running around with my tarp off at a baby shower like, woo! Hey, baby!
All right, so the fact that you want a bunch of moms and aunts drunk at a baby shower, it makes you a heel also.
Anyway. Face and Heel Volume.
Because when they start drinking and they're together, they're going to start telling stories that some people don't want to hear about their family.
So Thursday night, we're going to be down in the Dom Rep hanging out, and it's the Hall of Fame game. Is it a heel move? Because I've got the plan, right? So there's 5 couples going down there. Right? 5 couples going down.
Rob Brown Show.
And my question is it a heel move to open up the conversation when we get there? To bring to the attention of the 4 male counterparts, which will all be in attendance together. Hey, Thursday night, what's the time zone in the Dominican Republic?
You said last week it's like 1 hour ahead of us, I believe.
Yeah, it's Oh, it's actually, well, it depends on where we are in the Dom rep, but it looks like it's the same time. So is it a heel move when we first get there? When the first opportunity presents itself that the male contingent of these 5 couples go into the Dominican Republic together, for me to be like, by the way, fellas, the Hall of Fame game is at 8 o'clock on Thursday. You know, there's a lot of bars with TVs here in the Dominican Republic. What do you say we all try to sneak away and watch a little football? Now, for the record,
I can help you out on this. Are some of the guys that are going to be there from this area?
one is.
All right, which would make them possibly a fan of someone who used to play quarterback in this area?
True.
And that particular quarterback just happens to be playing on that night?
I think that guy's a Buckeye, though. No. Oh, he is going to kill me. He's a Wolverine. He's a Michigan guy. He's a Michigan man.
Well, Michigan guys seem to lean towards Clemson,
True.
so you might be all right.
So I think the move is as soon as we get there, maybe before, because we've got a thread going, like a text thread going, because we're all going to get out and play a round of golf while we're down there. We're trying to stretch it into 2, right? I think maybe I dropped the thread of like, hey guys, just for planning purposes, Hall of Fame game is Thursday night at 8 o'clock. We're going to be at a resort that's all inclusive, with TVs in the bar.
Set up a spa day for the
At
girls.
8 o'clock at night?
It's a Dominican. I'm sure
Ladies,
there's a spa day out.
Head down and grab yourself a nice, relaxing back massage on me. What time's the schedule for, Rob? 8 p.m. Thursday. No reason. No reason.
It could be a city that never sleeps. I don't know. I'm never going to go there. So
he'll move for us to be like, hey, babe, Thursday. And by the way, just for the record, right? Like I've got the bro cave at the house, right? All my video games are in there. It's where I watch all my sports. I got like 6 screens in there. I got neon lights, whatever. But I don't call it the man cave because the lady friend comes in there with me to watch football, right? Like we're up Thursday night game. She's interested. She's like, can I come watch the cave? Absolutely. The cave is for everybody, right? The cave is for anybody who wants to play video games or watch sports. The cave is for you. It is not a man cave. It's a bro cave, and anybody can be a bro. Everybody can be a bro. That's gender neutral. It's all inclusive, bro, right? I will absolutely extend, once I get the fellas on board, to where we present a united front of we'd like to go watch football together. I will then present that to the ladies and be like, hey, we've decided at 8 o'clock Thursday, we're going to hit whatever bar we decide to hit at this resort to go watch the Hall of Fame game, Jags Raiders. Would you ladies like to attend? Because I know my lady friend likes football. If there's football on, she's going to watch it, right? And I feel like if I'm like, hey, me and the guys want to go watch the game, do you want to go with us? And it's Thursday at 8 and there's nothing else going on other than, we're going to be at a bar anyway. She'll be in, and then she becomes an accomplice to get the other ladies to come in, and now we've got the excuse to go watch the game.
All you got to do is tell her that the Raiders have a pretty good defense, and there's a good shot that Trevor Lawrence gets sacked multiple times.
That's true. She's a Gamecock. If I tell her TL might get hit a lot, she's probably in. So we'll see. Face or heel for pulling that move and just trying to manipulate the system to go watch football while we're on vacation in the Dom rep.
I just looked at the clock at 11:11. That was weird.
Make a wish. I wish we could watch football on Thursday.
Oh, you got this. You got all those reasons.
The master tactician is at play. I'll figure it out. I'll put it together.
Yeah, the thing is, you're going to get to the Dominican Republic, you're going to forget all about the Hall of Fame game.
Not a chance. First football game, the first NFL game of the season, not a chance. In fact, quite the opposite. So the baby, by the way, the baby shower thing worked out for me, right? Because I told her, I'm like, all right, here's what I've decided. What I've decided is we're going to go. I will leave whenever you're ready. I will stay as long as you want to stay. And whenever we're done, I'm going to head to the game. If I miss the first half, I miss the first half. Whenever you're ready to go, I'll be ready to go. Well, she, at like 7:05, which is kickoff of the match, she's like, I'm ready to go. Are you ready to go? I'm like, yeah, that's fine. So we get in the car, and she's like, hey, by the way, thanks for not making me feel rushed, right? So I'm like, yeah, you asked me to do this. I don't ever do things you ask. I'm happy to do it. I said, but I'm going to get back to the house. I'm going to turn and burn, right? I'm going to run in, throw on a jersey, get in the car, and head downtown. She's like, that's fine. Go ahead. We get halfway home. I'm driving, and she goes, oh, hey, there was a lightning delay. Kickoff is now 8:06 for the Triumph match. So I just popped back into the car, headed downtown, still got to go to the full match.
So Rob Brown went to Panther camp, did his national baseball show, went to a baby shower,
And then went to the soccer match.
way to go.
Big day Saturday for your boy.
How late did you sleep Sunday?
1 p.m., not kidding. Now, in fairness, there's a reason for that. The game started at 8:06, got to halftime, 52nd minute of the match, the Lightning popped back off. They went to delay, right? It was like 9:30 at that point. They go to delay. Then the Triumph Twitter puts out at like 10 o'clock. Now, at this point, so the overwhelming majority of fans left.
See, I'm saying that, and I remember the Lightning.
Yeah.
Because
It was bad.
Yeah, the Lightning was bad enough to where I'm sitting there doing my show thinking, as I've always thought, when there's really bad lightning, there's a lot of windows
Yep.
right here.
So lightning hits, they call it, and they're like, you got to leave the stadium. We ask you to seek shelter elsewhere. So, which is how it works. So me and the, 60, 65 people that were in the supporter section walk out, everybody leaves. Well, as it is now 10:05 p.m., we are only 52 minutes played, and they've not called the game. They just said it's postponed. Me, Lonzo, and 9 other people decided to go back to the tailgate parking lot. There's like an old garage with a carport. We just hung under the carport, drinking beer, waiting for the Lightning to pass. At 10:30, they tweet back out, game to resume at 10:56 p.m. We stuck it out. Back into the stadium, 10:56 p.m. They had shut down concessions. The food truck was gone. It was just us and the team. 9 of us stayed. We had to pack the drums away because of the Lightning. We finished the game in the supporter section with 9 people and a triangle. Ping. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, because those wouldn't conduct lightning at all.
You know the skull clap like the Vikings do, where they're like, and everybody does a clap and they do the chants?
Yes.
Okay. Just to show you how much fun we were having with this. This was. It's us doing the skull clap with the triangle. We had a blast. The team didn't. They got their butts whooped 3-1.
I think I'm not the only one who's just curious who brings a triangle to a soccer match.
P1 Clay.
Way to go, Clay.
Clay rolled up. So here's the
He's
thing.
like, someday, my triangle is
Yep.
going to be featured in something.
Oh, it gets better. So El Presidente, Andrew, plays the bass drum. I play a snare drum. That's our percussion section, right? And everybody else has flagpoles, and they'll hit them into the stands. But we got a little rhythm section going. Clay has wanted to join the percussion section, but we got 2 guys that play drums, right? Me and Andrew. Clay rolls up to the match. He brought a triangle, right? Here's the best part. Not only did he bring the triangle, but then he tells us, oh, I bought like 9 progressively larger ones to play as the season goes on, right? I was like, that's it. You're in. You're in the percussion section, man. So we stuck that bad boy out. So here's another question about me as I do the About Me show. I didn't name it after myself after all. Of course I got an ego. We stuck out a lightning delay of an hour. We stuck out another lightning delay of an hour. Game resumed in the 53rd minute at 10:56 p.m. We stuck that match out until 11:50 when it wrapped up. In the rain at Legacy Early. Is that commitment, Lonzo, or is that insanity? Because there were, again, more people playing soccer than watching it at the end of that. Am I a passionate diehard or an absolute lunatic?
In my experience, when the triangle's on fire, you got to stay.
You got to stick it out.
You absolutely do. If you bring a triangle, does it come? Are there like triangle cases that you put the triangle in, or do you just bring it?
He was
in?
carrying it by the little tab, but he marched out of that stadium. Ting, 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 ting. It was great. It was great.
Do you have to get that checked at the gate? Your triangle?
Yes.
I mean, that's okay.
You know,
All
when we
right.
carry the drums in, we have to like let them look at the drums, make sure there's nothing inside of it.
Yeah,
There's
okay.
not obviously
All
in
right.
the supporter section, but like, yeah, they had to scan him, and he's like, I have a Triangle. All right. That's pretty rad.
I'm sure if you're proud enough to bring the triangle in, you're not doing it like that. You're like, got my triangle, yeah.
Owned it. We got to the 80th minute. We do the skull clap where we, G, T, S, C the whole way. Well, we didn't have the drum anymore. Clay's like, I'm doing it on the triangle for all 9 of us. We did the hell out of it.
And I'm
Sports
sure
are awesome.
there was a look in his eyes like, yes.
It was his moment to shine.
Yes.
And he shined. Texter says, Baker! We should talk Carolina Panther football training camp, shouldn't we? But let's get a phone call in here before we do. Let me get Kevin in here to talk before we take a break. Kev, what's up, fella? Kevin? Works better when you push the button. Hey, Kevin, what's up, fella?
What's happening, my dog?
How we doing?
Oh, man, just chilling, man. Hey, you going out of town this week? I'm going out of town Saturday. I'm going to be down in Clearwater trying to see what I can make happen down that way, man. I ain't never been down there, so I'm going to get down here and see what it's looking like.
Not mad about it, man. I love Clearwater. You'll have a good time.
Hey, I'm trying to go to Island Way Grill. I've been looking this thing up, so I'm going to go check that restaurant out and see what's going on.
Need to hear about it when you get back.
That throwed Lonzo off, but I'm going to throw him off the bridge on this one. Check this out. So, you say you went to the baby shower with the lady friend, right?
Yep.
So, baby showers, like, when my child was born, like, dudes didn't go to baby shower. Like, we showed up to pick up the presents and all this at the end of the baby shower, right?
Sure.
No. These days, these young people have a whole party at the dang on baby shower. I mean, there's drinks, there's food. Like, you leave the baby shower, like, I need a driver from the baby shower. Auntie over there drunk. Granny over there done had a few sips. Like, this is a whole situation these days, man. You should check one out.
I gotta say this, Kev, and I gotta give credit, right? Because I showed up, the baby shower had like 5 trays, like big trays of pretty daggum good pulled pork barbecued chicken breast, barbecued chicken wings. They had potato salad, good potato salad. They had some beers in the fridge. Like, as parties go, I have gone to worse. Like, I have done worse. I'm just saying, I wish y'all would, like, let's just call it what it is so everybody knows what they're getting themselves into. That's all.
Yeah. You know, when you go down here, grown folk, and it might be some grown folk juice down here. You just got to maintain the grown folk juice like you would do your child. Hey, you can't drink or you don't need no more. Stop it. Leave it alone. Eat something. And then you be all right, but you go down there and just figure, hey, it's an open bar at the baby shower. The food is free. I'm going to eat good and leave here comatose. Like this.
That's it. Kev, go ahead. Go ahead. Finish up.
Hey, man, Baker, man, I hope Baker take old boy out, man. Baker go down here and let this boy start over him. Baker should just leave the NFL, man.
Leave the NFL? What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, if he don't get this starting job, he should just do something else.
Oh, if he don't get the start, he's getting the start.
Yeah, if he can't beat Sam Darnold.
Yeah, if he can't beat Sam Darnold, I'm good with that. But he's
go do insurance commercials or something, but leave the NFL if you can't beat that Darnold.
He's going to beat Darnold. He's going to beat him. Kev, appreciate the phone call, my guy. He's going to beat Sam Darnold. He looked better than than Sam last week. He's going to look better than Sam today. First day in pads today, by the way. Panthers, as a matter of fact, I think they're on the field in like 9 minutes, full gear.
Saw a video of J.C. Horn coming out in pads.
I love it.
Don't know.
I love it.
I'm guessing maybe.
CMC was out there this weekend, too. CMC got some action in this weekend. Let's do this. Let's take a break. Let's come back. Let's do Fight Club on the way back because it's my show and I want to. Lonzo's got Fight Club next. We'll fit some Carolina talk in and then Twitter trending top. We may kill Twitter to talk Panthers. We'll see. We'll see. Back after this on the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate.
We can do a abbreviated Fight Club.
No need. We didn't ask for a spicy version of Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I think I may want to try that. That's why. That's going to be a Saturday night taste test, but you got to do it without milk, though.
Oh, yeah. goof with it. And also I'm an idiot, so I couldn't have helped that. Yeah. As humble as I am good looking. So anyway, yeah, Chris chose violence today.
So today, after the show, I get to do something. I'm going to make sure that Rob does it too by reminding him. We have
Vulgarity training.
Dump button training. Yeah, we got to do that.
Did you see that in the email? They accidentally typed it to dumb button training. That made me laugh.
They may have did that on purpose.
Maybe. Made me laugh either way.
We'll see if it's the same video that we've had the last couple years.
Dude, some of the stuff they said in last year's,
Yeah,
even I was like, oh, don't like that.
yeah.
Like, and I cussed like a sailor off
Yeah,
the air.
yeah.
And even I was like, that's dirty.
All right, so I have to do training on stuff that I would never let go over the air anyway. So
Yeah, like one of them.
there's some
last year,
things that go over now that I don't like, but it's acceptable. So
Yeah.
I mean,
They one of the ones last year was like, which one of these is the, and one was like, I can't even remember what the options were, but one of them was like, you know what, Bill, bleep you, and I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure you can't say that, man. Do I need training on that?
yeah, because there are some people who would try that. So yes, you do need training.
Okay, Hulk Hogan, have a great day.
Later, brother. Hello.
Yeah, there was
Looking a lot like a young Mick Foley.
He kind of
lately.
does, doesn't
Yeah.
he?
Have a nice day.
The like 2 or 3 of them last year were examples that were like straight out of an adult movie, like straight out of like an XXX rated adult movie. And I'm like, I don't feel like I need to be trained to know that that's not okay.
Yeah, but there are some people coming up in the business may go, okay, I didn't hear this word on there. It must be okay.
Golly. I'm excited to take it just to see how, like, the people
I'm not.
writing this training module have to have like a blast doing it, right? Like, let's see if we can trick them with this one.
At least we've reached a point where one wrong answer won't make you have to watch the entire video over again. When they first started doing those, there'd be like 10 questions. And if you missed one, you had to watch the entire thing over again. And you can't just go to the part where you. And they make it's multiple choice usually on these things. And they make it where you could go, okay, that will work, that will work, that will work. And then when they won't let you push multiple buttons, it's like, oh no. I took the security training Friday. I got it wrong. Yes, but the option I went with, I think, is perfectly viable. It wasn't like ignore and just move on. No, it was like call the bank, but that was not the correct answer. It's like, okay. Odyssey University is no joke, people. I do like to have that one recurring character, though, the dude in his pajamas. And I love that guy. That guy's great. That guy ever moves on or retires, I want that gig. I can do that. Welcome into a special edition of the Fight Club where Rob and I both are fighting mad because the ice cream man sat out there in front of us for like 20 minutes and we ain't getting none.
Yeah, I want to steel cage match with that guy.
Yeah. He had another guy with him. He had his backdoor guy, the guy who just went in the back door and then came out the back door. And he was a heavier gentleman who I think may sample the product a bit. But you got to have your guy who goes, yeah, this ice cream doesn't taste good. let me take another scoop and make sure it's all okay. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe it's all right.
For the record, I would take that job. Shocking, absolutely.
Yeah, but
no one.
eventually you don't fit out that door, and you just kind of you don't want to do that. All right, yesterday was the biggest party of the summer. It wasn't a baby shower. It was actually SummerSlam. And first of all, I want to ask Rob, and I want to ask the listeners, did you see Triple H's hand on this pay-per-view?
Yes! From the first minute when Michael Cole said, "Welcome WWE fans," the fact that they will just use normal conversational words. I mean, they still dropped premium live event and all that, and I get it because it's not really a pay-per-view like
not
it
anymore.
used to be, right?
It's not. I guess you could still buy it, but most people just get Peacock and
But
watch
the
it
fact
that
that
way.
they dumped WWE Universe out the gate, you know what it sounded like? It sounded like Michael Cole for the first time in I don't know how many decades didn't have a guy in his ear going, "Say it this way or you're fired." And he was free to just be Michael Cole again. It was so good.
Michael Cole, the Pat McAfee fan.
Yeah. Bailey and Dakota Kai and
Oh,
Io
why-
Shirai showing
why,
up.
why ruin that,
Oh,
man?
sorry.
We were going to get to that, but since you're already
Spoiler
there,
alert!
because the very first match was started out with Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch, and I had talked about this last Thursday. I was getting a little tired of it, but the match was really good.
Match was good.
Which you knew it would be, but the biggest problem, and we talked about this, is the fact that there's not enough competition because they got rid of everybody, and then here comes back Bayley, and she brings Io Shirai, who supposedly was about to leave because she was unhappy with the situation, and of course Dakota Kai, who had been let go due to budget concerns, which for some reason must have gotten better because I don't know, even in a down economy, WWE got better, maybe because they didn't have someone giving all their money away to women. I mean, maybe because of illicit affairs or something like that. So yeah, and and they are a new faction. It's not just they came out together; they are a new faction. So, and the name of that faction is Control.
I thought it was dope.
And Bayley has already tweeted out. She quoted Janet Jackson's Control.
I thought it was a pleasant surprise. I do want her OG Bailey back, but I like Karen
my
Bailey a
wife, the
lot.
first thing she said is, please don't let her come back as that. I was like, yeah, she has too much fun with that.
Karen Bailey's fun.
Although her hair seems a little bit more even now, so I don't know what that means.
I was stoked to see Dakota. I was super stoked to see Io Shirai, perhaps the most unappreciated woman in years. And
Agreed.
that's a Triple H move. Those are his kids, and he brought them up. And not only did he use that moment to put them on a pedestal, but he used that moment for a phenomenal Becky face turn.
Yeah, that's what I was going to
moment.
ask you. Do you believe in the face turn, and are you okay with it? I'm not so sure about it. I'm not. I'm not so sure about it. It wouldn't shock me if suddenly Becky was also in control and maybe leading it.
I don't think so.
I hope not.
I don't think you can bring Bailey back.
I want to see
second in command.
I want to see Bailey have her own faction, but there again, you get Bailey back, and you get two women elevated from NXT up to the main roster, and suddenly you've got a little more competition there,
Yep.
which has grown stale since all the budget cuts have gotten rid of everybody. So we're seeing the same matches over and over again. Also, even before that in NXT, and I know you're not watching NXT, Wendy Chu, who was that. There was this character who would be brought out on a beer, and it was like old kung fu movies, and she was in a mask and everything, and it was her. And she looked in the mirror like, you're going to bring her back. So I think some characters are also changing on NXT already, and I'm loving what I'm seeing. Which takes us to the next match, which Rob yells down the hallway when I get here this morning. Logan Paul is actually going to be a wrestler. He's got the build for it. He's got the aptitude for it. We'll see where it goes from here. But the Logan Paul Miz match was really good, and I expected it to be. I don't look at Logan Paul as celebrity coming to wrestle. I look at Logan Paul as, and it hurts Rob when I say this, boxer coming to wrestle. Someone who's taken lessons, has gotten in really good shape, and is now learning the moves that it takes to be a wrestler. And Miz is usually the guy that works really well with these guys. But I thought he put on a really good show.
He did. I hate it. The first thing I said to Alonzo walked in, I said, I hate that Logan Paul's a good wrestler.
And all I
He
could
is.
say is, Logan, your name's not Shane. Don't do it. and then Logan, who just thought he was Shane.
He did it.
Yeah, he does an elbow drop off the ropes onto Miz on the announce table.
A frog splash.
Yeah, it wasn't an elbow. It was a frog
whole-ass
splash.
Eddie Guerrero
And by the way,
frog
it was a
splash.
good frog splash,
It was
too.
perfectly executed. It was so good. Listen, don't get me wrong. I dislike him enough that he bought me into kayfabe, and then I'm like, get him, Miz. Like, get him, the Miz. I was into that match because I wanted to see Logan Paul get his ass kicked as a wrestler. I hate that he has done such a good job that I went all the way around screw this guy as a person to hating him in kayfabe. That's phenomenal. That's how it should be.
That's absolutely how it should be. All right, the next match was Bobby Lashley versus Theory, and so continues the punishment of Theory. And it's almost like, and it could be a work, or maybe he's getting some receipts for being the chosen one of Vince McMahon. Since Triple H took over, Theory's been beat up by everybody. And I mean just about everybody on both rosters. And it continued with him losing the match to Bobby Lashley. By the way, I think Theory's going to be a big star if he survives this. If he survives this physically, I mean, he'll probably be a better face than what he is a heel. And he's not bad as a heel.
First off,
Ziggler's going to take him under his wing, and that's what's going to happen.
First off, I agree with you. I think Theory's got potential to be very, very good. Listen, some people are just, I'm going to use this word, some people are just graced with a face you want to punch, and Theory's one of those guys, but that sets you up for a great heel run, right?
But when he was in the way, he was awesome.
I don't disagree. What's the name? You'll know off the top of your head. What's the name of the actor that played Agent Smith in The Matrix? Do you remember his name?
Yeah, because he also played Red Skull.
Yes.
And he also was in Lord of the Rings. And I would know off the top of my head, but you jinxed me by saying I would.
It's Hugo Weaving.
Hugo Weaving. There we go. Yeah.
Hugo Weaving has a face that's just made to be a bad guy, right?
Yes.
Like you don't ever look at that guy and go, that's a good guy. That's just a face of a bad guy.
Even playing Elrond, he still didn't look, like a good guy.
Yes. Like he was kind of a bad guy
He
in
was
that, right?
he was kind of a punk in a way, yeah.
Hugo Weaving is that guy. Jason Isaacs is another, like he's just got the face of a bad guy. That's kind of Theory. But here's what I like. I kind of think that the whole Theory getting his butt whooped for the duration of multiple shows is like a hat tip to WWE, right? Or to the WWE fans, not universe. And I think it is because H and Steph are looking at it as like, you guys stuck with us through the end of the Vince McMahon era when you weren't getting what you wanted. So as kind of a nod to that, we're going to have everybody beat up Vince's guy and reset him as a character as kind of a hat tip to you, the fans who dislike Vince but stuck around for this long. At least in my head, that's how it works because that would be the best way for it to be handled. I think it's great. I think it's a great setup. I think it's good for him to be able to separate himself from the Vince's protege while Vince was going on. I thought it was great. I thought it was well put together.
All right, so the next match, Judgment Day versus Mysterios. It was a pretty good match, but Edge came back, and I like Edge's new entrance. I do, and I like the shirt. Did you look at the shirt? The shirt looks
dope.
It really was.
I don't know if you saw I mean, everything about the Edge reveal was phenomenal. The intro with the fire was great. The background graphic behind him, which was like a hill on the side, with just people falling down into a fire pit next to it, right? Like, I thought the whole, even though we knew exactly who it was, I thought it was great. The only thing that really sucked is that it was a ho-hum match for him to come back. Listen, I get it. Dominic is Ray's kid. That's amazing. He's not good. All right. He needs a couple of years. He needs to be sent back down to NXT to develop.
He does.
Ray's 50 and he's showing it. And he still can go, but he's 50 and showing it. And Judgment Day was a thrown together, wasted, could have been great, but didn't get enough time to gel faction. The match was as ho-hum as it gets. And even with Edge coming back, it just kind of felt like a wait. You built this guy up for this wasted interaction in a match he didn't need to be in. I don't know. It just didn't do it for me the way that it should have.
All right, McAfee versus Corbin was a good match. I knew it was going to be. McAfee always performs well. What did you think about the ending, though? I mean, he needed. If you saw Friday Night SmackDown, he got the midsection shot from behind on him Friday. So this was his chance to return in kind a midsection shot to Corbin, and that's how he wins the match.
I thought the match as a whole was great. I really did. Like, I saw a lot of people calling it kind of meh. I thought it was phenomenal. I thought Pat's entrance music was really cool, right? I thought him playing to the crowd was cool. I thought
the choir, dude had a choir, man.
I thought Corbin's running commentary through the match, calling out Michael Cole. Hey, how's your friend looking now, Mike? Like, I thought all of it was great. I thought the ending was great. Listen, McAfee didn't pull off the greatest, essentially, Panama Sunrise of all time, but he's also... The point of this is he's just a regular guy who's now been thrown into wrestling. And for that storyline, I thought Pat McAfee was phenomenal. I've always said I love Dave Grohl because he's like the King Midas of music, right? Like everything he does works great for him in music. McAfee, for me, is that way as a sports, I guess the definition of a sports entertainer, right? Like McAfee, I can see myself like, Rob got hired to do WWE commentary, and what's the next step for Rob? To be like, hey, Triple H, can I take a few bumps? And then he goes, not only can you, but we're going to work you into... I thought McAfee did great. I thought it was entertaining as hell. I don't know that anybody but Corbin would have been the right heel for Pat McAfee in that spot. I thought everything about it. That was a 9 out of 10 setup. I loved it.
All right, Usos versus Street Profits. We knew that was going to be a great match. It absolutely was, with Jeff Jarrett as the guest referee. Turned out the way that I wished that it wouldn't.
Yep.
I love the faction. I love the building of the faction. I think the bloodline is great and everything they've done, but they've got to go down sometime. I mean, because it's starting to get boring. It is. It's starting to get boring, and the Usos will go down before Roman Reigns does. And I thought this was going to be that time, and it was not.
I never really understood why Double J Jeff Jarrett was the guy. Like, what? Oh, okay, we're in Nashville, so you need a cowboy as the ref. Like, I didn't really ever get that. And I'm a little.
They didn't want to put Jerry Lawler out there because they were afraid he might get hurt. Maybe.
I think, if I recall correctly, I could be wrong. I think I picked the Usos not because I wanted them to win or thought this was the moment for them to win. I really thought it was Street Profits' time, but more because they are going to want a OMG moment of blow up of the bloodline, and to take the tag belts off the Usos here diminishes that. But I think H is setting it up for the fall of the bloodline to be like a momentous occasion, and the Usos have still got to be strapped for it to feel that way.
All right, Riddle came out and called out Seth Rollins. They brawled a little bit, just setting up the Clash at the Castle. And then SmackDown Women's Championship, Liv Morgan versus Ronda Rousey. It was a tap out pin, controversial, a way to get Liv Morgan to retain the belt and to turn Ronda Rousey heel. Not much of a turn. She's got a better shot being a heel if she's going to remain in WWE, because she cannot do face promos. Ronda? She just can't do it. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Listen, Ronda's built to be heel. The only problem you have with Ronda Rousey is she doesn't want to be, and she has made it clear out of kayfabe that she doesn't want to be a heel. And it's like, you would be an ulta heel. Especially, here's the thing: you can want to be the face all you want. Liv Morgan's the face of the faces right now at the women's division. She won't be that way forever, but she is right now, right? Like, she's the face of that division. You have to play the role of heel. Ronda doesn't want to, and that's going to be your ultimate downfall in this business, I think.
All right, as usual, we're running out of time. The last match, Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. Unfortunately, Roman Reigns retains, but what a great match. And Brock Lesnar can drive a tractor. You know, that's not one of those things where dude knew everything. If you watched it, it wasn't like they just taught him like 2 days ago how to run that. He probably has that same model on his farm, because you don't let that guy drive in that narrow of a corridor with that thing. A lot of things could have went wrong with that. And the match itself was really good, which we expected. But when he put Roman Reigns inside what's that part called? I guess the greater part, on the track. I don't know what it's called. It's got to have a name, but lifted him up and dumped him out into the ring. That was great. And then lifted up the entire ring.
Which, by the way, hysterically caused Roman to just roll out like a video game character.
Which of course is what they wanted to happen. It was very dramatic. It was really cool. And then Theory comes out and gets beat up again. I'm telling you.
I loved it.
That's punishment it's punishment for him for his daddy not being there. That's what it is.
I thought it was great. But that's the point, right?
Yeah,
like, this guy took advantage of a situation, spurred on by a guy who took advantage of other people, and now he's getting his butt whooped, just like Vince got his butt whooped and kicked out of the company. Thought it was great.
Yeah, would SummerSlam have been different if Vince was there?
Yes. Brock would have won. Which, okay, I guess. Reasons, right? You wouldn't have got as many cool moments out of it. Like, for Lonzo, you know where I have fallen on the AEW versus WWE competition for the past 2 years. This weekend, I physically said, P1 Joe, who's my wrestling buddy, he's, me, him, and Lonzo, we're the three amigos in my little wrestling group. I texted Joe yesterday evening and was like, dude, AEW is in trouble, right? AEW is in trouble because they had everything going for them and that WWE kept screwing up everything to allow them to exist. But H's WWE in one night, that show ended and I'm like, this is the wrestling I'm here for.
All right, we need to take a break. As we take a break, though, we have 2 tickets to give away to Friday Night SmackDown, which happens this Friday coming up at the Well. 2 tickets. We got to do it during the break because Rob's loud and I can't hear you if we do it during the segment. So the third caller to call right now gets 2 tickets to Friday Night SmackDown.
WWE Friday Night SmackDown live at the Box Score Wellness Arena this Friday evening. 2 tickets going to caller number 3 right now at 844-FAN-PHONE, 844-FANFONE, 844-326-3663. 844-326-3663. Caller number 3 gets a pair of tickets to Friday Night SmackDown. We're back after this on The Rob Brown Show and the Fan Upstate.
Yeah, I don't have the phone number memorized anymore. Look at that. Look at those phone lines. That's what I'm talking about. People want to win some tickets. Rob Brown Show, you are the winner. What is your name? All right. You said Jacob. Spell your last name for me. Reines. And you're. I got you. What's your address? And finally, your phone number. Okay, these tickets are given away now through Ticketmaster. So what's going to happen is our promotions department will call you and give you a code so you can get your tickets. All right, congratulations. Yep, see you there Friday. All right, bye. Jacob Raines. So if you're watching on stream and you're trying to call, we already got a winner, but I'll let you know we're going to be giving away tickets all week. Even though Rob's not going to be here, I'll make sure that we give the tickets away.
Phone's lit up quick.
It did.
See it.
Take that, Mark Ryan. You know, all you guys in your Rogue One love. I'm even getting texts from another station right now about the Rogue One thing, and the way you worded it in a way. No, Vince.
I wrote your quote down.
You worded it in a way. It wasn't a direct quote.
It was 90.
No way.
No
way. It was a direct quote. All right. How do I do this though? been a while since I've done this, trying to figure out how to save this. Hey, come around here real quick and see if you see a save button.
I don't.
Yeah.
Oh, top. Little.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we saw it at the same time.
I know you're
All this other stuff
you're
is.
young enough you don't know what a floppy disk is. When are we going to replace the floppy disk as the save icon?
So there are some things that I didn't get that I wasn't aware that I had to get.
Like what? Like information from the caller?
Yeah.
Did we get the phone number and email? That's the
Yes.
important one, right?
Well, no email, but I didn't get the get their date of birth.
Oh, because I guess they got to be 18 to win.
He was definitely 18, or had a wonderful deep voice.
You know, we haven't talked about this commercial that's running, but it's really brilliant as a web developer to be like, here's the website we just built, and if you love whatever, go there and dig it. Because not only are you telling people what you do and how your products work, but you're actually driving people to their website, which shows up on their metrics too. That's a brilliant marketing campaign.
I'll just have to finish filling this out later, like after the show, which is almost over. It's the last time we gave something away. I mean, so
Last time WWE was
yeah,
here.
yeah. So I just forgot how to do it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to forsake Twitter trending topics because we talked a little Carolina Panther football earlier. Congratulations, by the way, to
Jacob Rains.
Jacob Rains. Oh, great name. Roman's cousin?
Yeah, possibly. No, it's spelled differently. And by the way, we're going to be giving away a pair of tickets every day the rest of the week. So even though Rob's not going to be here, I'll still be giving the tickets away. So if you didn't win, you still can.
We said caller 3. We have, 6 phone lines, and they were all filled immediately.
They were.
That's dope. That's awesome. Love to see that. Thank you guys very much for listening, and stay tuned because we got more tickets to give away. In fact, we're giving away, 5 pairs of tickets throughout the week this week? So if you want to go see Friday Night SmackDown and then be prepared for it next week, because I'll be back for Fight Club next week, which will have a full breakdown of Friday Night SmackDown. Looking forward to that. Anyway, Matt Rule said after 1 week, not even a week, 4 days of Carolina training camp, he, quote, couldn't be more pleased with Baker Mayfield. Yeah, no, I know, Matt. That's why y'all got him. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for us for the day. We'll have further breakdown tomorrow of the first day in full gear for the Panthers, which is happening as we speaketh. We'll break that down for you tomorrow and more. My final day for a week, so be here. I'm going Phil Tilt. We'll have some fun. For the great one, Lonzo, I am Rob Brown. Jim Rome's got you next to take you into the jungle. Offsides with Mark Ryan and Diesel, 3 to 7. Have a great rest of your day, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate. Later, brother. All right, stream, you guys are amazing. We'll see you back here tomorrow.